Good morning, good morning, good morning, DepEd teacher participants Calabarzon. Good morning, DepEd San Pablo City, mga teachers and participants. Good morning, DepEd Biñan City, dear teacher and participants. And again, good morning also, so DepEd Cabuyao City. Magandang umaga sa iyo. Maganda ka pa sa umaga, Teacher Julien.
Thank you so much, Ma'am Donna. And good morning po. Good morning po sa lahat ng ating mga proficient teachers. Welcome to our 4th day of E-Raise Up, our employees reskilling advocacy, initiatives, support for excellence and upskilling, with the course, enhancing proficient teachers' competence in leading change, responsive to the educational needs of learners. Yes, Ma'am Donna.
We are still live via YouTube. So paki-PM, paki-text, pakitawagan ng ating mga kasama kahapon at baka ay napasarap ang tulog sapagkat malamig na ang panahon. Teacher Julien, magde-December na. So ang sarap kaya matulog pag malamig. You may comment your name, school, and SDO, and don't forget to use our official hashtag amazed with E, raise up. Yan, Teacher Julien, di ba? Hashtag amazed with E, raise up. Before we proceed to the program proper, let us check. Teacher Julien, ano i-check natin?
Temperature check tayo, Ma'am Donna. Yes, kumusta po ang ating mga proficient teachers from our 3 SDO? Saan po kaya tayo dito kabilang? Sa 1 po ba? Feeling stressed, low energy, or just not my day? Or 5, somewhere in between? Or 10, feeling excited, energized, and alert? Ikaw po ba, Ma'am Donna? Saan ka dyan kabilang?
Siyempre kahapon kung 12, ay ngayon ay 12.5. So lumalagpas. Energy tayo again, mga dear teacher participants ng DepEd Calabarzon. So tignan natin sa ating chat box nga, Teacher Yen, ano kaya ang kanilang mga temperature check. So check muna tayo mga kaguro. Ayan. Teacher Julien?
From Ma'am Kelsey Ann Escondo, 10. Wow, perfect 10 siya, ma'am.
Yes,
Thank you.
10.
Another one from Ma'am Surya Agas, 7. Ayan, mamaya magiging 10 na yan, Ma'am Surya.
Yes, oo. Good good vibes lang kailangan yan, Ma'am Surya. Kaya go tayo. Baka pwede man tayong uminom ng coffee, milk, or any juice dyan sa ating bahayan. Oh. Sige,
ayan,
sige,
from
Ma'am.
Ma'am Cecil, Ma'am. From Ma'am Cecil Golosinda, perfect 10. Thank you, Ma'am Cecil.
Thank you very much sa mga nagbibigay sa ating chat box ng 10 or above. Thank you very much. Pampag-good vibes yan mga kaguruan ng DepEd Calabarzon. Ayan, Teacher Julien. Ikaw, hindi ka pa nagsasabi ko anong temperature check mo. Kanina tinanong mo ako. Ikaw, tanongin kita.
Yes, ma'am. Always 10 po ako. Hindi ko po kaya lampasan yung energy nyo.
Oo nga, oo. Kailangan talaga minsan maging tayo, energy. Ayan. So meron pa kaya tayo sa ating chat box. Ayan. Good morning from Ma'am Mary Jane Papera. Yan, 10. Thank you very much, Ma'am Jane. We love you na talaga. And yan, Ma'am Crisanta Nato. 10 din. So, pampag-good vibes talaga. Thank you very much po sa lahat ng mga kaguruan na nagbibigay ng 10. More chat box po pakilagay. Yan, si Zimerly De Torres. Hindi ko alam kung si ma'am ay sir o ma'am. Pero, ma'am Zimerly or sir Zimerly, thank you very much for that 10. Pampag-good vibes yan. Thank you very much. Ayan. So,
alright, Ma'am Donna. Mukhang ready na po talaga ang ating mga proficient teachers para sa ating session for today. So, to start the program, may we request everyone to join us in singing the nationalistic song followed by a prayer.
The alumni of the U.S.
Chinese authorities
say that World health officials this morning are reporting the first coronavirus death outside of China.
Looking back at the many past historical crises that have been overcome through a concrete spirit of solidarity amongst peoples, amongst nations. We urge all of us Filipinos to do our share of cure and give hope and opportunity for our nation to rise again. This is not a time for self-centeredness. We are all suffering in solitude of a coronavirus lockdown, which hopefully will inspire us to be proactive, optimistic, and supportive of unity in facing this tremendous challenge. We thank our frontliners who, out of genuine love and selflessness, are sacrificing themselves to save lives. We thank our leaders who never cease to find all possible solutions and provide the needs of our people. We thank our communities who continue to serve in the midst of risks and danger. We thank our families who search every single way for us to live. And most importantly, we thank God for giving us the truest essence of hope, love, generosity, mercy, and kindness. The alumni of the UST singers from all over the globe gathered together to voice out our valiant song of hope and unity and spread inspiration. We come together as one family, praying for everyone's health and safety. Let us continue fighting for each other and believe that we are one blood, one nation, and in one music, we will thrive and heal as one. the alumni of the
Sa pagsipol ng hangin, damhin ang aming panalangin. Taas kamay nanawagan, O Diyos na makapangyarihan. Mamahan, iyong ngalan ang may napagay ko. Ikaw ang tinupdan sa tanang mga grasya. Ang buhok mong itigayon ka na, dili masukol. Dagai kami o kigo nga puso, aron mo padayon. Simbolo ng balanghaw, panibagong araw, tatlong mga bituin, sabay-sabay magniningning. Kita ang niha sa kalibutan, ikot man bagay sa layakay. Hawak at patungo sa'yo, Diyos. O buhay, mangyayari sa'yo.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Subhanallah walhamdulillah Allahu Akbar. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin. Ar-Rahmanirrahim. Maliki Yaumiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdinas siratal mustaqim. Siratal ladzina an'amta alaihim. Ghairil maghdubi alaihim waldallin. Amin.
Simbolo ng balanghaw, panibagong araw, tatlong mga bituin, sabay-sabay magniningning. Pamahalang ating paniniwala sa ating layunin. Makapiling ang Diyos.
Good morning again. Good morning, Teacher Cabuyao.
Good morning, ma'am.
Thank you, everyone. So, let's settle in. Pwede bang bisitahin po na natin ang chat box bago natin kakilala si Sir Alvin? Okay, check muna natin sa chat box mga dear teacher participants ng ating e-raise up. Pwede ba namin malaman ang inyong mga comments? Yan. Teacher Julien?
Yes, ma'am. Para mag-feedback ulit tayo, ma'am.
Oo nga, ayan. Yan, okay na, inalis na.
Okay, from Sir Orlando Marfori. Good morning po. Watching from San Bartolome Integrated High School. Good morning, Sir Orlando. From Sir Maynard Rosales. Good morning po. Last day. Salamat po sa lahat ng ma-share niyo sa amin. #Amaze with the race up. Or with e-race up. Yes, Ma'am Donna. Ma'am, wala po tayong sound. Wala po audio.
Ay, pasensya. Good morning, nakamute ko. Good morning, Ma'am Ellen Joy Mondoy. A blessed morning watching from SDO Cabuyao. Kay SDO ni Teacher Julian yan. Good morning, Ma'am Ellen. And from Ma'am Jenaline Narido. Good morning po. Watching from Zapote Elementary School, SDO Biñan City, Laguna. Yan. Good morning, Ma'am Jenaline. Ayan, napakagandang umaga. Yes, syempre. Last from Ma'am Berlin Lianes. Good morning po from SDO San Pablo City, San Joaquin Elementary School. Ayan, pampagood vibes, Teacher Julian. Baka meron kang babatiin dyan. Meron ka shout out?
Ma'am, gentle reminder for our participants po. Ano pa, ma'am? Okay lang?
Okay lang, sige, go.
Okay, gentle reminder, dear teachers, we do appreciate your active participation and sharing of your insights. Pero please, keep your comments respectful and related to the topic. Thank you so much po.
Oo, tama yan. Maganda naman yung naisusulat natin sa chat box, di ba, Teacher Julian?
Yes,
Ay yung
ma'am.
nagpapagood vibe sa ating mga learning facilitator, sa ating TWG, sa ating PMT, at the back of this e-race up at sa ating mga audience na mga nandiyan. Happy Friday po sa ating lahat, mga DepEd teacher participants ng e-race up. Good vibes po tayo ngayong Friday para masaya at healthy and happy tayong lahat. Okay? So, Teacher Julian, papakilala ko na yung ating isa sa mga gwapong focal person ng Human Resource Development Division sa Region 4A. For the session protocols and recap, may I call Sir Alvin P. Mitrillo, Education Program Specialist 2, Nea from the region, Team Lead of Proficient Teachers.
Alright. Good morning, Ma'am Julian and Ma'am Donna. Thank you po sa inyo. And nandito po ako para sa ating session protocols and recap. At welcome po sa ating fourth and last day of our e-race up training. For our session protocols, okay. Listen attentively to the speakers of each session. And gaya po ng ating practice nung first to third day, you can use the YouTube chat box for your comments and queries. And this activity is recorded for documentation purposes and be present during the entire duration of the virtual sessions. For our simple recap po, kindly go to bit.ly/DAY 3 and maliliit na po, small letters, recap. Punta lang po kayo sa browser ninyo and then i-type nyo lang po ang nakikita nyo sa screen. Okay. Ganun din po kapag nakapasok na po tayo, i-enter nyo lang po ang inyong game pin na nakikita sa ating screen pa rin. 4791889. Again po, ang game pin po natin, 4791889. Okay, habang tayo po'y nag-aantay, ulitin po natin. Okay, nandito na po si Ma'am Len. Okay. Ilalagay po namin ang ating recap, yung atin pong link and game pin sa ating YouTube Live dahil po ako'y mag-share ng screen para makita niyo po ang ating progress ngayong araw na ito. Okay. Habang nag-aantay po tayo, ang bit.ly/DAY, malalaki pong titik, and 3 and small letters na po ang recap. Okay. Nasa YouTube link na po ang ating link and game pin. Yan po. Okay. Allow me to share my screen po para makita po ng ating participants. Pwede na po bang mag-share ng screen po? Alright, dumadami na po ang ating participants. 44 and still counting po. Alright. Okay na po. Wala na po bang hahabol? 58? 60 participants. Sige po. Pasok po lahat. So, ibig sabihin, makakasama ang ating mga participants ay active ngayon talaga. Active pa rin hanggang ngayon dahil sila ay nagpa-participate. Okay, simple lang po to. 65, 68, okay, pasok po, pasok. Okay, nandito pa rin po ang instruction natin. Join at www.kahoot.it or with the Kahoot app. Kung meron po kayong Kahoot app sa inyong cellphone, okay din po yon, mas mabilis po. And then, i-enter nyo lang po ang ating game pin na 4791889. So, we have 81 participants and still counting po. Okay. Last 1 minute po. We have 7 questions lamang po based sa ating naging talakayan or discussion kahapon. Alright, 90 participants in the board. Pasok po, baka tayo makaka-100 pa. Okay, makikita niyo po dito ang inyong name. Yan po. Kauna-unahan po pumasok si Ma'am Len, then 99 participants. Okay, let's start na po. So, get ready. Are you ready po? Okay, 1, 2, and 3. 10 seconds and 20 seconds po ang inyong time. Okay, 3, 2, 1, game. In the heart approach, what does H stand for? Ano daw po ang H? Okay. Is it heart, here, honor, or habit? Okay. Ang tamang sagot po ay here. Next question. But before that, our scoreboard, makikita nyo po, we have 100 plus participants and then meron po tayong top 5 participants. Again, it's not competition po. It's just a simple recap. Question number 2. What is the hashtag topic of Sir Christian Mesper? Okay, ano po ba ang hashtag niya kahapon? Alright, nakita niyo po dito ang answer nila. Okay, ang tamang sagot po ay hashtag yes to planong swak. Okay, nagbago po ang ating scoreboard. And then question number 3, learners in difficult circumstances. Alin daw po dito yung refer to? Learners in difficult circumstances, refer to. Okay, makikita niyo po dito kung ilan ang sumagot. Okay, ano po ba ang tamang sagot? All of the above. Kasama po dyan ang learners that are geographically isolated, child abuse, and chronically ill. Sila po ang learners in difficult circumstances. Ilan lamang po sila. Nagbago po ulit ang ating scoreboard. Leading po si Sir Ross or Ma'am or Sir Ross. Okay, question number 4. Double points po to. The following are ways to know your learners except. Take note po, except. Ito po ang answers natin, yung may nagsasagot po sa right side. Okay, alin daw po dito ang hindi kasali? Okay, overcome. Kasama po ang observations, conduct interviews, and self-reporting of learners sa ways to know our learners. Next question. Alright, hello po, hi. Hi po sa inyong lahat. Scoreboard natin si Hi. Okay, ito po yung alias nila eh. Alright. The output for day 3 is learning plan. Is it true or false? Okay. 100, okay. Ang atin pong output for day 3 sa session po ni Ma'am Mary Grace Cabili and Sir Christian ay learning plan. Okay, si Hi pa rin ang ating nasa top. Si Hi, Aleli, Charm, Louie P, and Cherry. Last 2 questions. Double points. What is the name of the demonstration teacher yesterday? Yung umani po ng papuri dahil sa kagalingang ipinakita niya kahapon. Ano po ba ang pangalan niya? Okay, thank you participants for your active participation. And the correct name of the demonstration teacher yesterday is Sir Michael Bañez. Okay, Enye po yun, Bañez. Alright. Good. Meron po tayong top 5 participants. Last question, true or false? Collaboration is one of the strategies for growing closer to your most challenging students. Is it true or false? Okay. False. Okay. Ito po ang ating top 3 students. Nakakuha ng 5,422 si Sir Louie P. Second place, 6 out of 7 po ang tinama niya, 5,519 si Ma'am Laika Casanova, and our top 1 students is Hi. Siya po ay nakakuha ng 6 out of 7 kasi po depende sa bilis. At may lumabas po kanina ng ating iba pang top students. Thank you po sa participants nating nakasali ngayong araw. And yan po ang ating simple recap. And thank you and congratulations to all and enjoyed our last and 4th day of our E-Raise Up training. Goodbye po. Alright, habang inaantay po natin sina Ma'am Donna and Sir and Ma'am Julie, kamusta po ba kayo? Okay, Ma'am Donna, pwede na po tayong pumasok. Alright, magbasa muna tayo ng comments sa YouTube. Okay, pwede po nating i-flash screen kung meron tayong okay. Good morning po, watching from Jose de Mesa Elementary School from SDO San Pablo City from Ma'am Leonor Bigalme. Okay, good morning po Ma'am Leonor. Kamusta po kayo? Okay. Congrats Sir Louie. Okay, our one of the yung nakaisa po sa ating recap. Thank you po. And yes, amazing recap. Thank you po. Okay, it's just a simple recap po. Okay, Ma'am Donna and Ma'am Julie.
Yes, sir. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning
Thank you,
po.
Sir Alvin
Apo.
Metrillo. Ayan, napakagwapo, fresh na fresh ni Sir Alvin. Teacher Yen, ano naman ang masasabi mo?
Yes, thank you po sir. Exciting naman ang inyong recap. Nag-enjoy ang
Okay
ating
po.
mga participants.
Yes.
Alright. Okay, Ma'am Donna and Ma'am Julie, thank you po. And sa ating pong participants, once again po, i-enjoy nyo lang po ang inyong training. Goodbye po and congratulations agad po sa inyong lahat.
Yan.
Okay, thank you, Sir Alvin. Now, to keep us directed, may I call in Ma'am Marie Chris Artadiwan, Education Program Specialist 2 of the Human Resource Development Division of Region 4A Calabarzon for the presentation of learning facilitators and sessions. Ma'am Marie Chris.
Ma'am Marie Chris, pasok na. Yan.
Okay, thank you, Ma'am Donna and Teacher Julianne. A pleasant morning, everyone, most especially to all the Proficient teacher participants from SDO San Pablo City, SDO Biñan City, and SDO Cabuyao City. First, I want to share a quote that I have read this morning. The best thing about life is that we never stop learning. Whether we are young or old, we always have someone to learn from. So today we will have another learning experience, our last day activity for the E-Race app. It is my pleasure then to present to you our learning facilitator for today. Friends, let's all welcome with the best smile our facilitator for today, Sir Michael Pantaleon, a Senior Education Program Specialist of SDO Cabuyao City. And for the schedule of activity for today, the session title for session 5, No More, Sana All. Understanding and evaluating teaching strategies that are responsive to the special educational needs of learners in difficult circumstances. For part 1, we will have 40 minutes, and for part 2, we have 60 minutes. Then we will proceed to question and answer. It will run for 30 minutes, and then we will go to job embedded learning for 30 minutes, and then the course management concerns for 5 minutes. Then we will have our closing ceremony at 1 p.m. That's all for today. Thank you and have a nice day, everyone. Happy learning.
Yeah, thank you so much, Ma'am Marie Chris. And now, Ma'am Donna, for our session 5. No more
Yes.
hashtag sana all. Ano po kaya ito?
Yes.
Understanding and evaluating teaching strategies that are responsive to the special educational needs of learners in the difficult circumstances. Here is Sir Michael O. Pantaleon, our Senior Education Program Specialist of the Human Resource Development Division of Region 4A. He is also a NAEP Certified Learning Facilitator, Region 4A Development Council GAD Resource School, and leader trainer of the Boy Scout of the Philippines. Sir Mike, good morning.
Good morning, Sir Mike. Pasok na sa ating Erase Up Day 4. Thank you very much. Happy learning.
All right. Magandang umaga po. Good morning, everyone. My greetings and advance congratulations, of course, to all of you, to all our teacher participants to this course. Kumusta kayo? I hope everyone is in good shape. Okay pa po ba kayo? Stress na po ba or stress-free naman? Ayun. So magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat, and I am greatly honored, to lead this group to the virtual journey of reaching our objectives, and that's of course learning, or shall I say accumulating additional learning for everyone, especially for pertaining to understanding and evaluating teaching strategies that are responsive to the special educational needs of learners in difficult circumstances. Our focus this morning, or in this presentation, would be on the special educational needs of our learners in difficult circumstances, or maybe even in this most difficult circumstance, that's pandemic. It was discussed in the previous presentations, salient points about inclusive education, its curriculum, and up to the appropriate teaching strategies which our teachers could and should adapt, so that learners will certainly enjoy their stay in school. Okay, they will enjoy their stay in school with us. Okay, or stay in the virtual platform with teachers and classmates, or even could relate and imagine what's really going on with the instructions and activities written in the modules. In short, they stay with us. They will stay with us because they found it happy, and we teachers are, of course, leading them with a happy group life. Yun, chill lang tayo mga kasama nating guro. And that when they are happy, learning would easily be captured. And when they are happy, learning to them is easy to do. It's easy for them to do things even in any platform. And that's what we also wanted to happen in any of our interactions with them. And that everyone would not say anymore, sana all. Ayun, sana all. That is because everyone is part of the group, and that they are enjoying happy group life. And so, I hope everyone is happy. Everyone is positively listening and watching right now, and that everyone also is enjoying happy group life. Today, ladies and friends, or shall I say today, fellow teachers, we will lead you to this virtual journey of attaining the battle cry, no more hashtag sana all. No more hashtag sana all. With me in this session is Dr. Leslie Balenya Denosta of SDO Biñan City. Hello, Ma'am Leslie. Good morning. And we work together with the learning package, with this slide decks, the session guides, and we also did research to come up with this presentation. Okay? And this facilitator on your screen right now is Mr. Michael O. Pantaleon, Senior Education Program Specialist on Human Resource Development of SDO Cabuyao City. And the lead host of SDO Cabuyao City, Gabay Turo. Gabay online sa mga magulang, mga guro at mga mag-aaral sa Better Normal. Every Wednesday, 3 to 5 in the afternoon, live via DepEd Tayo Cabuyao City Facebook page, Royal Cable Channel 24, and Als Banlik Radio Aralan 108.0 FM. Hello, good morning everyone, and stay there. Stay tuned, and focus is the name of the game as we present to you and as we lead you to this journey of no more hashtag sana all. No more hashtag sana all. All right? So here we go. I hope everyone is okay. Allow me to facilitate this discussion. No more hashtag sana all, which aims to achieve our terminal objective for you, our dear participants, to be able to evaluate responsive teaching strategies to the special educational needs of learners in difficult times. Okay? Again, we keep on reiterating again and again, okay, that our focus this afternoon, or this morning rather, is more on responsiveness, looking at the responsiveness of our teaching strategies, which will fit to the special educational needs of our learners in difficult times. Okay, and we will mainly focus on evaluating the responsiveness of your teaching strategies, which also would aim to seek answers to questions like, are my teaching strategies effective and responsive to their needs? Right, that's the first question. Again, are my teaching strategies effective and responsive to their needs? And the second one would be like, do I also consider their needs and interest and even difficulties with my way of teaching? Do I consider, or did I also consider their needs and interest, their difficulties with my way of teaching, with my pedagogies, with my strategies, with how the way I facilitate discussions, even in the virtual or even through modules? And allow us to do that, okay, in the next few minutes. And I am sure we can really achieve those, because we will be doing in this session, what we will be doing in this session is for you to observe. First is to observe or assess the teaching learning episodes or the sample lesson exemplars, or maybe your lesson exemplar or your weekly home learning plan, to check if activities there, okay, including instructions written, okay, of course written there, are responsive to the needs of our learners. Okay, don't worry, because you will do this with your colleagues, maybe with your co-teachers in the same class or in the same level. No pressure, okay? No pressure, because we want you to stay happy. Okay? We want you to stay happy in complying the learning task. PM is the key. Peer sharing is the key. Okay? It's the key term here. Peer sharing. By colleagues here, my dear fellow teachers, does not mean only to one co-teachers or co-teacher. It could be more than one. Okay? Yeah, I know. But your dilemma today is that, your dilemma here is that you are not together in one place. You are not in one place altogether at this very moment. Yeah, I understand that. But I know you can make ways to reach out with them during the time allotted to you for your asynchronous class or for your asynchronous classes. Well, your affirmation also is needed as one of our tasks today, as a reflective journal, okay, attached to the checklist which you will be using in the evaluation. So reflective journal, we require you to have a reflective journal with our presentation. With this task, okay, as presented through the enabling objectives, we are very sure that all our participants here could be able or would be able to achieve the terminal objective. Sinabi ko po kanina, that when we are happy, learning would easily be captured. And it's easy to do things even in any platform. And that's what we also wanted to do. No? That's also what we wanted to happen in this presentation. All right? So what about a thumbs up, everyone? Using our chat box. Thumbs up? Okay. Yes, thank you so much. All right. Okay, let's now move on. Please be guided with the instruction for this preliminary activity. Okay. Flashed on your screen. All you need to do is to pick 6 letters from the jumble letters to get the magic word. Stick to the instruction, my friend. Pick 6 letters from the jumble letters on your screen right now to get the magic word. Okay? Post your answers sa ating comment section. Okay? Sa ating comment section dito sa baba or saan ba? Sa gilid. And you are given 60 seconds to do the task. Okay? 60 seconds to do the task, and time starts now. Okay, and that's it. Some posts here are SIT, S-I-T, spirit, yes, spirit, sir, S-I-R, sir, yes, sir, series, okay, that would be accepted, mixers, that would also be accepted, mixer without S, yeah, okay, mix, letters. Some of your answers actually are 2 meters away from the bullseye. Others are 1 meter. Others are an inch before the bullseye. And I also saw or read here letters, Letters, yeah, letters. That's 6. Then heart, puso. Okay, puso. Iisang puso tayo. Ayan. And hearts with an S. Okay? And may sumagot din po ng 6 letters. Yung iba naman ay tear o tears. Ang sagot naman ng iba ay art, A-R-T. Yeah, art or arts. Okay? Sagot naman ng iba ay 6 letters, mixer, series, sir. Okay. That's it. Thank you for that. Thank you for your responses. Thank you for your answers. Okay, beloved teachers, what did you do? That's my first question. What did you do? Why did others say, sir, with 3 letters, other are with mixers with 6 letters? Did you follow the instructions or did you challenge it? Huh? Bakit po kaya iba-iba Iba-iba yung understanding? What difficulties did you encounter in decoding the magic word as per instruction? All right. 'Di ba ang instruction natin is to pick 6 letters. And from there, you can get the magic word. 'Di ba? Yeah, Sam says, Sir, tricky naman po yung question. Sir, hindi malinaw ang instruction. All right, peace. It's okay. All right, sorry, we cannot move to the next slide of this presentation, of our presentation, hanggat hindi po natin nakukuha ang magic word. Okay? Again, it says there to pick 6 letters. Okay? Ayun. Sige, tingnan natin yung sagot ng iba. Ayun, heart pa rin. Letters. Setters. Isa lang, setters. Okay, hop. 6 letters. Sir, pick the 6 letters. That's it? Oh, okay. All right. Did it test your patience, my dear? Na ano ba kayo? Nainis na ba kayo? Or shall I say, ano ba naman ito, sir? Ang hirap naman. But the instruction actually is very, very easy. Okay. Tricky daw ang instructions. Oo, sige. All right. Sige. The letters na nakuha po ninyo, okay, and formed as a word, tulad ng mga ipinost po ninyo sa ating chat box, are not yet the magic word. The magic words. Or these are not yet the magic word. This is not yet the magic word. Okay? Kasi ang kinuha nyo lang ay yung mga 6 letters or letters na mabubuo ninyo mula o words na mabubuo ninyo from the letters, from the jumbled letters on your screen. Yes. Okay. Now, I understand. Yes, naunawaan po natin yan. It's quite tricky, but I know you also get my point too. Okay? Peace tayo ha. I hope if everyone is okay. Okay pa po kayo. Huwag niyo po kaming iiwan. All right, sige. Now, I'll make some adjustment with the instructions or instruction para okay po sa inyong lahat. This is now what you are going to do. Okay? Listen. Pick 6 letters. Okay? Did you pick 6 letters? Okay? Okay? No. What I am trying to say here is that you simply pick 6 letters. S-I-X-L-E-T-T-E-R-S. That's what I mean. You pick that 6 letters. Okay? You don't need to think of any letters or any words or any letters to form a word from these jumbled letters. What we are trying to say is for you to pick exactly 6 letters spelled as S-I-X L-E-T-T-E-R-S. That's 6 letters. Okay? Then, the remaining letters after you pick, okay, 6 letters is our magic word. Now, can you now read or guess the magic word? Sige, tingnan natin sa message, tingnan natin sa chat box. Tingnan natin. Let us see kung nakuha na ba ang magic word. Okay, let us see. Oh, others can still get the message. Siguro yung iba late na nag-tune in, ano? Alright, nakuha na po ba ang instruction natin? Kunin nyo lang po yung 6 letters. No more, no less. Yung matitira doon will be our magic word. Yes, and that's it. Here's now the magic word. May mga nakita na ako, and that's empathize. Which means, we need to understand and share the feelings of another. Or we can also say that it is the ability, our ability, to sense other people's emotion. Okay? Ano kaya yung nararamdaman niya? Ano kaya sa tingin niya? Ano kaya ang pakiramdam niya? Nasasaktan ba siya? Ano kaya ang pakiramdam niya na hindi siya kasali sa ating klase? Ano kaya pakiramdam niya na hindi siya makakilos at makagawa ng mga output natin because of a situation, for example? Okay? That's empathize. Coupled, of course, coupled with the ability to imagine things, okay? To imagine what someone else might be thinking or feeling. Okay? Right, so that's empathize. Okay? Or empathy. Now, let's do this with this perspective. Okay? Let's do this. Let us also look at on the context still of the word empathy or empathize. I'll be posting some questions for everyone in this class to answer. Okay? You can post in the chat box or in the comment section of this platform, or even write down on your personal journal. Okay? Kasi kailangan natin, I suggest to do it manually in your journal, or if you open also your laptop or cell phone, you can also jot it down there, or you can type it there, encode it there, so that you can retrieve that a little later, especially during your activities in the asynchronous class. Now, first question here is, do you develop detailed and accurate materials for learners in geographic isolation? Is it a yes, a thumbs up, or a no, or a thumbs down? Okay. Do you develop detailed and accurate materials for learners in geographic isolations? I need to think of that. Okay, right? Okay, if yes, and thumbs down if not yet, or no. Okay. Another question. Do you create an individualized lesson plan for learners with chronic illness? Sir, sa dami naman ng estudyante ko, gagawa pa ba ako ng individualized lesson plan? Especially for ilang bata with chronic illness, for example. Again, if you do, then thumbs up, and if not, thumbs down, or it's a no. Do you create an individualized lesson plan for learners with chronic illness? Kanina, geographical isolations, this time with chronic illness. Number 3, do you provide accommodations for learners affected by armed conflicts? Okay, let us see. Tingnan natin dun ba sa ating ginagawang lesson plan, or was that a lesson exemplar or weekly home learning plan? Meron ba doon, no? Do I also provide accommodations for learners affected by armed conflicts? If it's a yes, then thumbs up. If it's not, then thumbs down. Tama? All right. Now, number 4. Do you plan and implement a structured learning space for learners affected by urban resettlement? Did you do this? Did you plan, or do you plan and implement a structured learning space, okay, for learners affected by urban resettlements? Okay? If it's a yes, then thumbs up. If it's no, then thumbs down. Okay? Tingnan natin sa chat box. Yes, many are answering. But I hope, siguro it's better, I suggest, kung sasagot kayo sa ating chat box, lagyan niyo po ng number. Let's say 1, thumbs up, or 2, thumbs down, or number 2, kung ano. Okay? Doon naman po sa walang tawag doon, thumbs up or thumbs down extension sa inyong mga applications, you can also type 1. 1 if it's yes, and 2 if it's no. Okay? To make it easier and clear to everyone. So at what number na tayo? Yes, let's go to number 5. Okay, for number 5, do you help learners? Do you help learners affected by natural disasters transition into normal schooling activities? Meaning, helping these learners affected by natural disasters for them to cope up, transitioning into normal schooling activities. Okay. If it's a yes, thumbs up. If it's a no, thumbs down. If it's a yes, type 1. If it's a no, type 2. Let's go to number 6. Do you collaborate with various partners in responding to the needs of learners experiencing abuse? O kung may mga bata po tayo or estudyante na nakakaranas po ng pang-aabuso, even in this time of pandemic, and most especially in this time of pandemic, what do you do? Do you collaborate with various partners in responding to the needs of learners experiencing abuse? Okay? And last question would be, do you support the reintegration of learners involved in child labor? Kita ba yon? Kita ba yon sa ating lesson plan? Kita ba yon sa ating instruction? Kita ba yon sa ating pagtuturo? Yung support yung reintegration of learners involved in child labor. What do you do, or what do we usually do to these learners who are involved in child labor? Okay? Sige. Thumbs up if it's okay, and thumbs down if it's not. 1 if it's okay, and 2 if it's not. Yes, okay. Congratulations. Tingnan natin. Tingnan muna natin yung iba. So, iba-iba ang sagot. May yes, may no, many, mostly, no? Marami ay yeses. Okay. Yes. Congratulations to those, if not all, who answered it with thumbs up or yeses. What does it imply? Yes, that you are considering them. Yes, that you consider their needs and interests. Yes, that you include in your instructional device, in your lesson plan, they're considering their strengths and weaknesses. That's great. It's very good. That's great. That's great, rather. And the magic word, okay? And the magic word of this presentation, which empathize, is present in your lesson plan, is present in your weekly home learning plan, or at whatever plans. Okay? I would like also to congratulate those who have no answers or thumbs down. Okay? First, because thank you first for being honest in the assessment of your personal learning plan, or individual learning plan, or action plan, or lesson plan. Of course, the first group, those who says, the first group who says yes, of course, they are also honest, and congratulations. Thank you for that. Or maybe no, or thumbs down, because you don't have learners in your class with special educational needs related to those mentioned a while ago. And that those in most difficult circumstances. But hey, maybe this pandemic, this terrible and horrible pandemic, could also be considered the most difficult circumstance for our learners. And even parents at home like us, teachers at home like us, teachers in the school like us, that we really need to empathize. Agree or disagree? Pasulat naman sa chat box if you agree or disagree. Okay, that's good. Now, moving on. You know what, my dear teachers, teacher participants, the Department of Education, through Department Order or DepEd Order number 72, series of 2009, has recognized the urgency to address these needs. The need of children to receive appropriate education with a regular or inclusive classroom setting. By inclusive education here, we mean an education that embraces the philosophy of accepting all children, accepting them all, regardless of race, regardless of size, regardless of shape, of color, of ability, or disability, with support from our school staff, students, parents, and the community. Here, I always remember the EOP, the Equal Opportunity Policy. Okay? Equal opportunity to all. And so, with the DepEd Order number, with the issuance also of DepEd Order number 21, series of 2019, it's on inclusive education policy, reiterating the universal design of learning. Okay? And as part of our discussion this morning, and as part of revisiting points of discussion in the previous sessions, as a part of our review, inclusion, okay, is one option for the placement of special education students in public schools. These inclusive programs are sometimes referred to as mainstreaming, nagme-mainstream, no? It was mentioned very clearly sa mga naunang presentation, which is the selective placement of students with disabilities in regular in regular education classrooms. Okay, inclusion in education also is an approach to educating students with special educational needs. And this inclusion rejects the use of special schools or classrooms to separate students with disabilities from students without disabilities. I always remember diverse learners, diversity. If diversity is the problem, then inclusion is the solution to that problem. That's diversity and inclusion. Put them together for us, for everyone to have that happy group life. Okay? No one should be secluded. Dapat magkakasama, sama-sama tayo lahat. Okay? That's inclusive education. Okay? It values diversity and the unique contributions each student brings to the classroom. Okay? Tulad ng sabi ko, diverse values, diverse traditions, diverse races, diverse learning. But when you put them together, okay, join them together, include them all, that's a very unique contribution. Okay, that everyone should or shall contribute. Okay, and everyone shall bring that to the classroom. Okay, we also would like to reiterate that inclusive classroom is a general education classroom in which students with or without disabilities learn together. Learn together. Wala nang separation. That's equal. That's gender equality. That's sex equality also. Okay? Okay? Now, inclusive teaching strategies. Let's talk about this. Of course, this one is a strategy or example or set of strategies where or teaching approaches address the needs of students with a variety of backgrounds, a variety of learning styles and ability. How you will manage the group, your learners with all diversities, no? And putting them all together with that strategy or with those strategies are considered inclusive teaching strategies because you were able to put them together. You were able to lead them, let them learn together, okay, despite diversity, and you were able to share them and also for them to be able to catch up with your lesson because of your unique presentation and because of your knowledge in mind and strategies to include them all in your presentation. Okay? Inclusive practice, on the other hand, an approach to teaching that recognizes the diversity of students. It's an approach to teaching that recognize all of them. Okay? Enabling them to access course content, fully participate in learning activities, and demonstrate their knowledge and strengths as assessment. So what we are trying to say here is that your practice of doing inclusive teaching strategies is an example of an inclusive practice. Ang sarap ano kung lahat ay ganito ang kaisipan, and that's really what we wanted to be or to have, that all should practice inclusive teaching strategy. Okay? Now, of course, inclusive education program, these are educational services for all students, including those with special needs. Or there are also questions there like, how do we locate children in the community? How do we locate? Para makita natin, okay? Para makasama natin. Kasi 'di ba dun sa ating thematic area, one of them is access. Okay? We have access, we have governance, and we have quality. Okay? Part of the access is locating children in the community. Where are they? Okay? Now, let us try to discuss this time component of inclusive education. Napaka-importante po doon, no? Nabanggit naman ng mga nakaraan. Again, review lang po itong part na ito, yung assessment. Assessment, of course, it's a continuous process of identifying the strengths, the weaknesses of the child or of the children through either formal or informal tools for or proper program grade placement. Assessment are important, of course. Alam naman natin yan. They provide the children with an opportunity to demonstrate our KSA or maybe KSU, the knowledge, the skills, and understanding. Okay. Then we can also ask the participants, we can ask also ourselves with this. Tayo, what are the forms of assessment that we usually use in our classes? Okay. Is it effective? Is it effective po ba yun yung mga ganong ginagamit nating classroom assessment? Okay? Of course, ang ating intention dito is to enhance assessment of learners also with those students with disability, for example, or special needs, for example, or those learners or those with special educational needs for learners who are in a difficult circumstance. Okay, maybe we can have presentation. Okay, we can also have conference. Okay, you can also do interview, observation. I know you are doing this. The performance and also self-assessment. Okay. Now, it is also very important to look at this component ng comprehensive inclusive education or program, this curriculum modification. It should be or shall be implemented in the form of adaptation and accommodations to foster optimum learning based on an individual needs and potential. Modification, there's a need for you to modify a curriculum, okay, that will ultimately the purpose is to have optimum learning based doon sa individualized needs and potentials ng ating mga bata, ng ating mga learners. Under curriculum modifications, we have, I think, 7 or more principles that we want. It's very important to deal with or to discuss or to share with. First one, my dear fellow teachers, kung bakit natin to sinasabi at binabanggit, because this could also add up with how you present your learning lesson plan, your lesson exemplar, so that in the end, a little later, when we evaluate your learning, your existing learning lesson plan or your lesson plan or lesson exemplar, mababalikan natin, nakita ba natin itong mga principles na ito? Okay? First one is, good curriculum comes first. Oh yeah. Yes na yes. Okay? What do we mean here by good curriculum comes first? Okay? You can share your insights sa chat box natin if you have insight on this. And we will welcome that. Okay? Teacher's job or first job is always to ensure a coherent, important, inviting, and thoughtful curriculum or instruction. That's the first job. Ayos ba yung ating ituturo? Okay? Good curriculum comes first. Number 2, okay? Sige, tingnan natin sa chat box kung meron tayong share. All tasks should respect its learner. Yeah. Respect is the key term. Okay? Love is something that you give it away and it comes right back to you. Respect is something that you give it away and it comes right back to you. We also need to respect its learner. So all our tasks should respect its learner. Every student deserves work that is focused on the essential knowledge, the understanding, and skills targeted for the lesson. And you know what? Every student should be required also to think at a high level and should find his or her work interesting and powerful. So ito bang task na binigay natin ay akma doon sa sitwasyon nung isang naabuso o nung isa na galing pa lang sa disaster o nung isa na galing sa resettlement area. Again, all tasks should respect each learner. Another thing is that when in doubt, teach up. Good instruction stretches learners. Huwag susuko. Huwag susuko. Hanggat hindi nakukuha, huwag susuko. If your questions are not easily understood by your learners or by your participants, better rephrase the questions to the level of your learners until such time that they get it. Okay? The best tasks are those that students find a little difficult to complete comfortably. Ulitin ko. To find a little difficult to complete comfortably. Be sure, of course, that there's a support system in place to facilitate students' success at a level that he or she doubted was attainable. Support mechanism. Support. Yeah. Another thing is use flexible grouping. Parang gusto ko ring sabihin, no? Teachers are flexible teachers. Para yung term na flexible, laging nandun. You should adjust to the environment. You should modify your lesson. You should adjust to the needs of your learners. Okay? One very important principle here is the use of flexible groupings. Okay? Let's find way and time for our class to work as a whole. That's good. Nasama-sama. Okay? But there are also time for students to demonstrate competence alone. Meron naman bata na they find it good to share it with only few. And for students to work with varied groups of peers using only one or two types of groups, diba? Two types of groups makes our students to see themselves or cause our students to see themselves and one another in more limited ways, keeps the teacher from auditioning students in varied contexts, and it limits potential rich exchanges in the classroom. Maganda dito yung flexible learning, no? Flexible grouping. How's our grouping? But again, sa gender responsive basic education policy, dapat hindi ma-separate si boy and si girl. That they should have flexible groupings. Okay? Looking at the point of gender responsiveness or gender sensitivity and responsiveness leading to gender equality. Okay? So hindi na pwedeng group ng lalaki, grupo ng babae, but it should be a flexible group or groupings. Okay? Oy, napaka-importante, especially nowadays, even before, that we should be assessment junkies. If you are familiar with katame, okay, sige nga, pakisulat nga sa chat box natin, what do we mean by katame? Q-A-T-A-M-E. Yun. That's, pwede natin siyang i-anchor o i-align with assessment junkie. Everything that a student says and does, lahat ng sinasabi, lahat ng binabanggit ng bata, ginagawa ng bata is or are potential sources of assessment data. Narinig natin right at our very ears, nakita natin those are very potential sources of assessment data. Okay? Then assessment should not stop there. Assessment should be an ongoing process conducted in flexible but distinct stages, and it should maximize opportunities for each student to open the widest possible window on his or her learning. Very important also Another principle that we also need to understand or to learn is grade to reflect growth. The most we can ask of any person, the least we ought to ask is to be and become their best. Yung maging ano at sino sila, okay? The developed one, developing the optimum ability of all our learners. The teacher's job here is to guide and support the learner in this endeavor. And grading should, in part, also reflect a learner's growth. Let us also be guided with these 9 basic types of curriculum modifications or adaptation. Number 1 is, okay, the number of items. Okay, so we need to adapt. No, we need to adapt the number of items to learn or the number of activities to complete for a specific time. Ano yung mga sample activities natin dito? Ensuring that quantity is highlighted in terms of modification. We can actually limit, reduce or limit the use of scan sheets for answer sheets or for test answers rather. We can also reduce the number of items for assigned task. Baka naman ang daming activity na pinagawa si teacher. Reduce the number of copying. You can do that. We can do that. Okay? Reduce the number of problems, for example, in math. Okay? Reduce the number of concepts and expectations introduced at any given time. In short, reduce. Reduce the number, reduce the length, okay? Or better have at least the student to learn 2 to 3 concepts for every interaction or discussion or from each chapter that they need to read. Okay? That's good. Another that we should also be very careful or look at is, aside from quantity, is time. Kanina sabi natin, reduce the number. This one also is time. Meaning, what's the time allocated or the time allotment for learning, the time for them, the time given to them for the completion of a task, or example, testing time. So what the reference would tell us also is to create a timeline for creating a task. Reduce also, according to the first one. Then allow students to take assignment home ng mga face-to-face natin or do it in the asynchronous class. Okay? Allow extra time, provide extra time in class to complete assignments. Sabi nga, di ba, napapanood ko, no? Bakit daw yung mga teachers kapag sinabing time is up, eh wala ka nang magagawa, kundi ipasa mo talaga. So, the consideration here is being asked. Allow extra time in class, again, to complete the assignment. Review frequently, or maybe allow additional time to complete the task. Then, hey, let us also give our learners short breaks. Breaks at a time, no? Dapat meron din coffee break, or wee-wee break, or CR break, or health break. Okay? Number 3 is level of support. Napaka-importante nito. The increase of personal assistance, no? How's the amount, no? Increase the amount of personal assistance to keep the students on task or to reinforce or prompt use of specific skills. Dahil peer support or level of support ang hinahanap natin dito, una, body-body, no? Nasaan si body, nasaan yung ka-body-body ko. You can also have check for comprehension, meaning kumusta lagi from time to time. We are also doing the kumustahan, di ba, most of the time with our class. That's an example of level of support. Okay? We can also provide this support by by reading the test aloud. Para kasi yung ibang bata mas gusto nilang visual, audio. Okay? So mas naririnig nila. Others love reading. Okay? So read test aloud is also a support to them. Okay? We can also use groups to write together. Let them write together. Okay? Example, first sentence will be written by student A, second sentence student B. So that's a collaborative effort, collaboration of all the group. And that also dealt with level of support. Peer tutoring. Tutor. Okay? Tutor. Turuan mo ako, tuturuan kita. That's tutoring. Then another one is starting, for example, a computer for a student, teaching them on how to use that. That's hands-on technical assistance or support. Or maybe guiding them a hand during handwriting, especially kung yung mga bata. No? All right. Those are examples of level of support. It is also very important to consider input. Pagka input, paano natin itinuturo? The way how the instruction is delivered to the learner. Paano ba natin ito itinuro sa kanila? Paano ba natin ibinigay sa kanila yung input? Okay? We can do that by having the cooperative groups. I know you have many of this. Okay? We can also make use of the visual aids. Okay? We can also share them concrete examples and hands-on activity. Again, lead them, okay, for them to learn, for them to acquire the learning. How are you going to transfer the learnings or the concepts coming from the books or coming from the reference going to the learners is providing them input, is our facilitation skills. How are we going to teach them, or how are we going to transfer this desired output intended for them, so that by the end of the designated time or allotted time for that particular class, we were able to deliver it or transfer it to them. Okay? Let's look also at the difficulty. How's the level of difficulty? Okay? Is it problem type, skill level, or the rules on how the students may approach the work? Let's take a look also and consider difficulty. Okay? Sample example here, you can also provide them calculators for math problems. Okay? So again, sabi natin, reduce the difficulty. Okay? And simplify task directions. Huwag masyadong tricky, katulad ng pinresent ko kanina. But I have a purpose of doing that. Kaya ganun ang aking pamamaraan ng pagtuturo. We can also provide outlines with blanks. Parang filling the blanks. Okay? And then word banks also would help. And then we can also tell them like, you can see this, you can find this in page number 41, paragraph number 3, so that it's easy for them to look, to skim, or to scan answers from the text or answers from the story. Okay? We can also have handouts for reference during lectures. Okay? And then we can also supply them with study guide, okay, with key concepts and vocabulary in advance that lessen or reduce the difficulty on their part. Okay? And providing them also techniques and tips on how to do this or to do that. And we can also give alternate test. Okay? Para lang, maliliit lang, no? Chunk natin. Chunk. Vary format of test. Huwag naman laging essay type. You can also have the multiple choice, the best one. Or you can have the other types of test. Of course, we would like to have an open book test. Okay? So you can also do the same. Okay? Again, bakit natin ito pinapakita? Kasi mamaya, pag-check natin ng ating lesson plan o ng ating instructional plan, nakita ba natin anong estratehiya ang papabor doon sa educational needs ng mga learners under those critical or difficult circumstances. Okay? Under this, we can also have the use of high interest and low level books to motivate our students to read. Okay? We can also provide them alternative books We can provide them partial grade based on the individual progress. Okay? So ayun, na ipapakita natin, right? Okay. And then also providing them time to rework missed problems for a better grade. Halimbawa, dito sa classroom natin, meron kayong na-miss because of the deadline. Baka naman mapagbigyan kayo ng pagkakataon that because you missed to turn in or to mark it done, well, matutuwa siguro kayo if you will be provided extra time, okay, so that you can have better grade with that missed output. Okay? Very important also is output. How the student can respond to the instruction. Gusto natin makita kaagad, may output ba, magagawa ba kaagad ng ating estudyante, especially those who are in difficult circumstances, yung expected output natin from them. We can have verbal versus written response. Okay? We can have communication book. Okay? And even allow our students to show knowledge with hands-on materials. Okay? So, yan, outputs or output. Very important, another one is participation, of course. Okay? This is the extent to which a learner is actively involved in the task. So, with our participants this morning, dapat they should also engage with what is asked or given, with the activities given, with the expected output from them. We can also have sample activities here like participation. Let them turn pages on book that the teacher is reading. Okay, so I am now reading my class, our learners. I am reading page 3. Okay, so at page 3 they also will be reading. So that's a way for them also to participate on that particular task. Then you can hold also a globe in geography, for example, and let them, which one there, at what part is the globe, or maybe that a reporting part, or in our virtual classes, showing or allowing them to demonstrate where can we find this, or where can we find that. Okay. Another is listening to a tape story while others are engaged in reading aloud. Let them do that. It's up to them kung saan sila mas okay. Okay? And then color map while other students label the map. Okay? So while others are leveling, then others are coloring. Okay? So we would like them to participate. Okay? And then we can also have like find related pictures in the magazine of concepts presented while others use resource materials in research information. Okay? Some learners also will discuss concepts while others are using computer programs for reinforcing. Like for example, it's a collaborative effort or a collaboration of a group on how to present things. I am recording my talk, for example, and someone will edit it, and then someone will apply animation, someone will apply transitions, and even backgrounds. Okay, so that's asking participation coming from our students, coming from our learners who are particularly those who are in difficult circumstances. Another thing is alternate goal. Adapt the goals or output expectation while using the same materials. Alternate. Bigyan natin ng alternate. Well, this is for students, or this is only for students with moderate to severe disabilities, for example. In a social studies lesson, for example, except a student to be able to locate the colors of the states on the map, others will learn to locate its map by looking at the name. Diba? So, alternate goal. Magkaibang goal ang ibibigay natin. We can also have a substitute functional literature, or curriculum rather. How? A language lesson. Yeah, language lesson, either English or Filipino. As a discipline, a student is learning toileting skills with an aid. Community-based instruction also, we can use that. Learning them how to use a communication device and learning how to do the laundry, or learning them with cooking or grooming skills. Okay, so it's part of a substitute curriculum. Another indicator is parental involvement. Parents, of course, shall involve themselves in observing children's performance, volunteering to work in a classroom as teacher aide, and supporting others or other parents. So it's participation also of the parents, involvement of parents. That's very, very important. Now, fellow teachers, I hope you're still okay. Can you please type 1 sa ating chat box if you are still okay? Of course, type 1 lang. Type 1 lang. I'm sure that you are always ready and you are focused with the discussion. Now, fellow teachers, we are guided with our professional standards, with the PPST. And one competency that we really have to execute and internalize to execute and internalize is this competency, or this competency. This is standard. That we have to plan and deliver teaching strategies that are responsive, okay, to the special educational needs of learners in difficult circumstances. By difficult circumstances here, as we discussed a while ago in the first part, in the earlier part of our presentation, one here is geographical isolation. Okay? We have chronic illnesses, or learners with chronic illnesses, and learners who are displaced due to armed conflict. Learners in an urban or coming from the urban resettlement or disasters, and those who are been encountering child abuse and child labor practices. So as teachers, what else can we do despite our intention to help them? Di ba? Now, our learners under geographic isolation. The geographic isolation of some learners can be overcome by ensuring that there is more frequent communication. Frequent communication between teachers and learners. This time we can say that we are in a geographic isolation, or geographic malalayo ang ating area. Okay? But still, learning takes place. Important is frequent communication. Okay? Now, the separation of the learners and teachers imposed by a great distances removes a vital link between the two parties. This link must be restored through institutional efforts to reintegrate the teaching-learning transaction. And according to Gilbert and Moore, in their study, there are two types of interaction. The social interaction between two or more people about the learning material, and the instructional interaction between the learners and the materials. Again, social interaction and instructional interaction. When these two types of interactions are maximized, then the learners find it easier to complete the study. That's good. Social interaction and instructional interactions. When these two interactions are maximized, then congratulations, because it's easy for our learners to complete their study or their task. Okay? Now, learners also in geographic isolation need to be intrinsically motivated or independently motivated. Okay? According to Whiting and Company in 2008. There should have motivation, intrinsic motivation from time to time. And we can provide that through communication. Okay? So next is referring to children or learners with chronic illnesses. Precisely, or shall I say, yes, performance of our students, academic performance of our learners will be affected if they are having that chronic illness. Okay? Even their emotional and physical development would also be affected. Okay? And things that we can do here is, of course, as suggested is through medical professionals, even with our school professionals. A school-based healthcare can also be designed and implement it towards assessing risk and fostering resilience to ensure that learners achieve optimal health, well-being, and academic performance. Another here is displacement due to urban resettlement. It increases the children's vulnerability during the reintegration period following the displacement, as well as increasing the risk of poverty resulting from loss of land, inheritance, or other legal rights, incarceration or discrimination, inability to resume schooling, and related problems. So what are we going to do? Okay. See? Now, going back, and let's look at how we deal with it in the present situation. Okay? Mamaya, ipapakita naman po dun sa slides, or not to the slide, rather, but doon sa checklist later, for you to classify yung given bang lesson exemplar are doing or responding to all these needs. Okay? Now, let's talk about features of practice. Sabi natin kanina, your strategies or the strategies you are using and you've been using form part of your teaching practice. Okay? Sa tanong natin kanina in the early part of our presentation, do you develop detailed and accurate materials for learners in geographic isolations? Tingnan natin kung ito po kasi yung features of practice na dapat or suggested na ginagawa para masabi natin that there is a development of detailed and accurate materials for learners in geographic isolations. Una, tayo ba mga teachers created modules with content and learning activities that are clearly expressed and to the points? Creates practical materials that learners in geographical isolation can easily interact with individual and as a group. Kung nagawa natin yon, then ang ating instruction is responsive to the needs of those learners in geographic isolation. For all our teachers here, we can motivate, or when we motivate geographically isolated learners to continue their studies by providing them support. Okay? Support that they need much. Okay? Like academic and administrative services. He or she writes detailed and accurate materials that learners in geographic isolation can use that, however remote their location may be. Okay? And one thing, if a teacher nakagawa ng online materials and deliver support to those who are geographically isolated, okay, irrespective of the delays in connectivity, he or she exerted efforts just to deliver or to provide that materials. He or she uses social media platforms as a means of providing social interaction and instructional interaction for learners in geographic isolation. Well, ang tanong natin ngayon, nagagawa ko na ba yon? Or alam ko nagagawa ko na ito ngayon eh. Diba? So we could ask ourselves, So kasama na pala yung ginagawa ko dun sa mga practices responsive to learners in geographic isolation. Ang key term natin kanina is communication. Now, let's talk about these learners with chronic illness. Ano ba yung mga ine-expect na practice na ginagawa na sana natin? Una, si teacher partners with parents. Partners with the guidance counselor. Partners with the school administrator. And partners with other teachers. Okay? For them to create a seamless support network and mechanism for these learners with chronic illness. A lot of consideration ang ibibigay natin dito. Okay? So there's really a need for partnership between the teachers handling the class with parents, with the guidance counselor in the school, with the school principal, and with other subject teachers. Okay? Nung bata. Another, if the teacher develops and implements ito, individualized lesson plan, dapat bukod or suggested na bukod yung kanyang lesson plan, individualized lesson plan siya that accounts for his or her physical, psychological, and academic consequences associated with the medical conditions and treatment. Oy, so panawagan ito sa ating mga kasama. Okay? So kumakatok tayo for everyone to make individualized lesson plan dun sa ilan na mga estudyante natin under our care. Okay? So that hindi naman maapektuhan yung kanilang schooling, yung kanilang journey to achieve learning. The teacher considers the learner's medical condition and treatment when we design individualized lesson plan. Okay? So that's it. So those are practices expected, okay, for our learners with chronic illness. Again, individualized lesson plan. Now, another is, how is the provision of accommodation for learners affected by armed conflict? As practice, or as a practice should be, we need to coordinate with the guidance counselor and other specialists in doing the planning and therapeutic activities for learners. We have here in our present situation right now, we have the psychosocial first aid. Okay? Kumbaga si bata ay undergoing psychological first aid. Okay? Because he or she is coming from an environment with armed conflict. Okay? So we need to ensure that proper coordination is carried out so that we can respond to the symptoms of post-traumatic. Yan, yung post-traumatic stress, yung kanilang adjustment difficulties, even yung kanilang emotional dysregulation, yung mood swing or swings, and even yung emotional meltdowns ng mga bata natin. Okay? So, we need to consider all this. Wow, I am also learning. Okay? Teachers create joy and positive experiences in the classroom. Huwag mo munang sisigawan. At huwag mong sisigawan. Baka ayaw niya nung masyadong maingay. Matitrigger yon. Maririnig niya. That would recall him or her yung previous experience. Okay? The teacher adjusts to the face of the learner. The teacher adjusts the face of the lesson according to the learner's condition. Huwag naman nating pagalitan porque hindi nakakasunod. Okay? We must also take into account that learners who experience traumatic events might find it difficult to process informations and to concentrate in the class. So again, adjustment. Again, modification. Okay? All right. So another thing here is, do you plan or implement a structured learning space for learners affected by urban resettlement? Suggested practice here, teacher creates a protected and healing environment where the learners can build their resilience, engage in reflection, healing, and self-expression. Okay? Dapat yung mga activities natin dito interactive. Okay? We can provide activities that will gradually help them resume their normal educational activities. We can also provide structured learning environment by using classroom management techniques that will help learners cope with their tasks and activities. He or she uses entry and exit routines, such as writing the lessons objective on the board, review drill, practical applications, and generalization. And coordinates with the guidance counselor in providing the learner with timely psychosocial support. Okay? For him or her to initiate, okay, the formation of new values and attitudes doon sa isip ng mga bata natin who are at risk of becoming affected by feelings of fear, hatred, and vengeance. Okay? Wow! Another thing, kumusta naman yung mga galing sa disaster? Okay? Diba? So, kung gagamitin natin dito, usually nung may bagyo or may disaster na naganap sa ibang lugar, sa ibang region, di ba they transferred to us here in Laguna, in Calabarzon, for example. And then we are mandated by DepEd to accept them. It's because it's part of inclusive education. Okay? And we are now guided here of how are we going to deal with them. Teachers, sabi dito sa practice, designs and implement structured activities for children, including the establishment of safe areas. He or she creates routines in the form of recreational activities. Maglaro tayo, magkantahan tayo, magdrawing tayo for them to bring normalcy. Maging normal na ang lahat. And prepare these children to return to the classroom. Another practice, teacher focuses on developing basic skills that learners displaced by urban resettlements needs. Ano yung kailangan nila? Na basic skills pa, we should provide them. Okay? How's the literacy? How's the numeracy? How's the life skills? Okay? There's a need for them to restore, okay? Restoration of normal schooling. The teacher participates in the activities needed in order to move schooling from non-formal to formal education. So see, and we also need to have regular timetables. What about practices for those with learners experiencing abuse? The teacher designs and facilitates classroom discussion on how to identify and respond to abuse. He or she integrates a discussion of child abuse in the lesson whenever appropriate to help the learners become more comfortable in discussing this experience. Pero hinay-hinay. Ibig sabihin, huwag kaagad yung atake. Look at also at the acceptance of this child or of these children, okay? Recovering from such abuse or abuses. Okay, discussion on abuse could also help reduce feelings of shame, stigma, and self-blame for children experiencing abuse. That's according to Kenny in 2008. The teacher also immediately reports cases of drug abuse, domestic abuse, sexual abuse, and suicidal tendencies to the proper authorities. Okay? Communicates all pertinent information. In the school level, we have the guidance counselor, the principal, and we have the barangay social welfare development, and the MSWD, and so the DSWD. What about those who are involved in child labor? We can actively support the return to school program for learners who have had long-term absences due to child labor. Sana hindi maramdaman ni bata na pagbalik niya ay siya yung pinakamalaki, siya yung pinakamatangkad, at siya yung may edad. Okay? Or we can provide them alternative delivery modes such as modular or remediation activities. Okay? We can also provide them instructional materials based on the topic that the learners have missed during their intermittent absences, okay, due to child labor. Absent siya ng absent kasi tumutulong siya sa pagsasaka, pangingisda. So we can provide alternative delivery modes to them. At we can also provide relevant quality education opportunities to include skills training. Okay? Skills training, ano pa? Mga iba't ibang trainings also as beneficial alternatives, no, to the worst forms of hazardous child labor. We can also show the marginal learners and their families what going to school is more important than supplementing the family income through child labor, and that quality education is essential in the future success of the child. And teacher also provides the learners with guidance and opportunity to understand their role in the society. Okay. Now, on its application, my dear teachers, let us try to evaluate our plans. I hope you have with you your plans right now. And a little later, maybe in the afternoon, you can have that with your colleagues in the chat box or in the asynchronous class in your classroom. Okay? Let's try to evaluate our plans with this tool adapted from the study of Rajita and Company in 2018. You can see here the indicators, and then is it evident or not evident? And what is your remark? Okay? You will be given a sample aside from your own personal lesson exemplar. We will also provide you with a lesson plan, okay, for you to evaluate. Okay, but more importantly is to evaluate that with your peers, with your colleagues. Okay, first indicator here sets clear expectations for all students. Is it evident or not evident in the lesson plan you are reading right now? Diyan ba sa lesson plan, does it break assignments into smaller pieces to work on in short time periods? Tingnan din natin yung time element, nabanggit ba doon? Ilang minuto? Dapat ang allotment niya doon sa assignment? Ito bang assignment na ito in your own assessment and evaluation ay pasok doon sa oras na binigay? Or baka ito ay gagawin pa after the class? And if that will be done after the class and learning should take place after the class, ibang usapan yun. Dapat it should always be within the time duration of your lesson unless it's an assignment. Okay? Provide space, breaks between assignment so students can review or refocus on their task. Tingnan natin sa ating ginawang lesson plan kung meron tayo neto doon. Carries out everyday routines consistently. Naipakita ba yon doon sa lesson plan? Okay? And then doon ba sa lesson plan, evident din po ba na merong reward system for good behavior, completing work on time, and participating in the class? Okay? Doon din ba sa lesson plan, meron din bang visual and auditory reminders to change from one activity to the next? Flexible din po ba yung teaching aids and lessons? Pakikita natin. Meron bang mga nakalagay din doon na ito para sa beginners, ito para sa mga medyo moderate na, ito ay para sa advanced, so that parents also are reminded on on things that they need to do. If they think their child is on the beginning level, or if their child or learners or children are on the advanced level. Okay? How's the creativity to lessons and housework? Meron po ba doon? Did it develop also easy-to-use monitoring tool that are needs-based? Para mga rubrics yata, tinitingnan natin dito. Then, develops a set of resources and intervention networks. Nandun po ba yon? Applicable po ba yung resources na yon and intervention na yon para doon sa ating mga students in difficult circumstances? Let's consider those, yung mga nasa difficult circumstances. Yung lagi yung konteksto natin. Meron din po bang multiple scenario approach to developing lesson plans? Monitors and verifies student responses to lesson, evaluates and adapts lesson as necessary. All right? So with these 13 indicators, as indicated dito sa ating tools, I hope we will be able to evaluate our lesson plan. Is it responsive to the needs of those learners who are in different or in difficult circumstances? Doon tayo tututok po lagi, learners in difficult circumstances. Okay? As our advice for our assignment part and part of the application, which you will be doing in the asynchronous class, for you to choose a lesson exemplar for a week, okay, or lesson plan nyo po, okay, aside from the one that we have in our class, in our classroom, assess it using the indicators. Checklists also are also uploaded dun sa ating classroom. Okay, evaluate. After you evaluate it, reflect on the responsiveness of your teaching practice. Self-evaluation, after working with your colleagues, please do your self-reflection on the responsiveness of your teaching practices. And I hope, and I am very sure we can do that. Again, balikan natin yung empathize, yung empathy kanina, yung consideration kanina. Okay? Those empathy, gamitin natin yon dito sa paggawa natin ng mga lessons para doon sa mga estudyante or learners in difficult circumstances. And that's we can do. Okay? We can help. We can share to them. And let us always remember, we all have important roles in ensuring that nobody gets left behind. Good day, everyone. God bless. See you sa ating asynchronous class later this afternoon.
Thank you, Sir Mike Pantaleon, for that very comprehensive discussion. Ang saya-saya naman ang pagtuturo at pagle-lecture ni Sir Mike, di ba, Teacher Julien?
Yes, ma'am. Natuwa po ako dun sa kanyang parang motivation, yung empathize. Nagkamali po ako ng sagot doon.
Anyway, dear teacher participants of SDO San Pablo, SDO Biñan, and SDO Cabuyao, please write your questions on the chat box sa ating YouTube Live. Nga pala, Teacher Julien, let's update ilan na ang ating YouTube Live viewers. Let's check. 775 shout out po sa lahat ng teacher participants ng ating E-Raise Up Day 4. Magandang umaga po kayong lahat dito sa ating YouTube Live. Ayan. So ulitin natin, Teacher Yen, ang kanilang mga tanong ay related doon sa lecture lesson topic ni Sir Mike Pantaleon. Tama ba, Teacher Julien?
Yes po, ma'am. Ayan.
Sige. So habang sila'y nagsusulat ng kanilang mga tanong, either in Tagalog or in English, Teacher Julien, baka gusto mo nang tawagin ang ating mukhang nagpagupit o nagpa-hair color si Sir Mike. Ang gwapo niya ngayon eh. Teacher Julien, go!
Okay po. Okay, for the Q&A, let me introduce let me call in our facilitator for this morning session, Sir Mike O. Pantaleon. Sir Mike, good morning.
Hello! Hello everyone! Nasa labas ako ngayon because we have our Gawad Galing Kabuhenyo, and medyo pinalad tayo to be one of those who will receive the most outstanding non-teaching personnel. So thanks to our God. Hello everyone, kumusta po mga kasama natin? May question po ba tayo?
Ayan, as of now po ay wala pa po.
Sir Mike, ngayon pa
salamat.
lang ay magko-congratulate na kami ni Teacher Julien sa iyo. So kailan ang pa-ice cream at pa-spaghetti dyan?
Pa-Starbucks po kapag okay na po. But because you also promised me na magpapa-Starbucks ka, magpapa-Starbucks din ako. Quits na po.
Okay. Sige, gusto ko yan. Kasama si Teacher Julien ha, Sir Mike?
Yes, of course. Oo. Ma'am Donna and Ma'am Julian, i-announce ko lang po sa mga kasama natin, ang kanila pong output po para sa activity po dito sa ating discussion, sa aking presentation po, ay yung kanilang existing na lesson plan o yung kanilang existing na weekly home learning plan. Hindi na po sila gagawa kung ano po yung existing ngayon, ay yun po ang kanilang i-evaluate using the checklist na nasa kanilang classroom. Okay, doon sa mga magtatanong, Sir Mike, kailangan pa po bang gumawa kami ng bagong lesson exemplar or lesson plan? Hindi na po kayo gagawa. Ang gagawin lang po, hahalungkatin sa inyong mga files yung existing lesson plan ninyo, and then try to evaluate that using the checklist. Ganun lang po kadali, Ma'am Donna and Teacher Julian, ang gagawin natin.
Okay, sir.
Okay
Thank you
po.
so much po. Ayan, hindi na po mahihirapan. Hindi na po sila mahihirapan na gumawa ng panibagong lesson exemplar. Yung existing na po, yun po ang i-evaluate. Okay po. Clear po.
Ayan
Ayan
na,
na
Sir Mike, hindi na pinahirapan ng mga guro natin, di ba, Teacher Juliet?
Yes,
Thank you very much, Sir Mike. Congratulations sa iyong award. Outstanding non-personal award to Sir Mike Pantaleon. Yan. Virtual clap to Sir Mike. Ilagay nga natin ang virtual clap natin, mga dear teacher participants at deputy person sa ating chat box para naman love, thumbs up, virtual clap at lahat ng ating mga good emoticons na nakikita dyan. Yan. Naglalagay
Ano
sila
to, level 2, kasi pag level 1, ano siya salary grade hanggang salary grade 10, and then pag level 2 ay salary grade 11 to 22. So level 2 po ang aking nakuwang award. So salamat po. Okay?
Talagang hindi lang pa Starbucks siguro, Teacher Julian,
Thank you,
matatanggap
Ma'am
natin.
Marinel Kapitan. Hindi na Colonel hindi na Colonel, Kapitan.
Kapitan.
Hello, Ma'am Marinel Cornel.
Ayan, Ma'am Marlene. Ma'am
Sige,
Marlene
kung may
Coronel.
question po, Ma'am Donna, sige po, feel free po, sasagutin naman po natin.
What can you ask for? So detailed discussion daw. Congratulations, Sir Michael, sa kanilang sa binigay na comment ni Ma'am Marlene. Ayan. Teacher Julien, kindly
Yes
read.
po. Yan, Ma'am Donna from Ma'am Anne-Marie Fajardo. Thank you, sir, for a very informative discussion. We need to be reminded of this curriculum modification for us to be able to tap on the special needs of the learners in difficult circumstances. Nagpapasalamat po siya, sir, sa inyong discussion. Again, from Ma'am Marlene Coronel, wagi sa kalinawan, katalinuhan sa pagbabahagi ng kaalaman. Amazing.
Amazing, nakalagay from Ma'am Marlene. Thank you, Ma'am Marlene. Nakaka-good vibes at nakaka-smile si Sir Mike sa ganyang mga comments. Ayan, from Dan Lester Briñas. Very true. And a big thumbs up, caps lock lahat for that, Sir Mike. That no students will left behind, exclamation point. Thank you so much, sir, for that very enlightening talk. Congrats din po, sir. Ayan, from Dan Lester Briñas. Yan, Sir Mike. Puro positive. Teacher Julien?
Yes po, another one from Ma'am Artnafe Ode. Thank you, Sir Mike, sa napaka-live discussion at nakaka-enganyong makinig at manood.
Oo, nakakainganyo talaga. Kahit ako kanina nakikinig at nanonood kay Sir Mike. Ayan, from Ma'am Jeneline Tolentino, virtual clap at confetti. Wow, congrats po, Sir Mike Pantaleon. Ayan. So, puro good vibes. Congratulations. Oo, virtual clap, heart, thumbs up, confetti. Oh, from Ma'am Teresa Camatoy. Nothing comes easy, but when there is empathy, love comes naturally, especially when Sir Mike is in the house. Wow! Sir Mike is in the house daw, kaya wala tayong hahanapin pa. Sir, Teacher Julien, tama ba?
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Wala po talagang questions na nalabas.
Ako rin naghahanap ng question, Sir Mike and Teacher Julien. So, ibig sabihin, Sir Mike ay napakalinaw at napakagaling na iyong pagbibigay ng mga lesson dito sa ating hashtag. Tama ba? Meron doong tawag dito? Hinahanap ko yung ayun, hashtag no more sana all, understanding and evaluating teaching strategies that are responsive to that special educational needs of learners in difficult circumstances. Yan yung hashtag kanina ni Sir Mike. Thank you. Teacher Julien, ano pa?
Puro congratulations po nakikita ko. Ang husay talaga ni Sir.
Ayan.
From Ma'am Maria Madonna Ramos. Ang husay talaga ni Sir. Congrats po. Truly deserves the award and more awards ahead. Gone by. I don't know how to pronounce that. But thank you for a very comprehensive session. Kudos. Proud CL student here.
Wow. Proud CL student here. Ibig sabihin sa Boy Scout ba ito, Sir Mike? Sa Boy Scout ba yung CL student here, Sir Mike?
Hindi na po yata tayo marinig ni Sir Mike. Kasi nasa labas po siya.
Nasa labas kasi siya. From Ma'am Dana Marie Alcantara. Lodi ko talaga to si Sir Mike kahit noong student niya pa lang ako. Congrats po, sir. Ayan. Student pa ni Sir Mike. Oo. Kumbaga very good at very talented talaga si Sir Mike. Ayan. So, Teacher Julien, pasalamatan na natin si Sir Mike at pwede kaya makapapicture si Sir Mike ng nakababa ang face mask? Pakibaba
Sir Mike, picture taking daw po.
Picture taking tayong tatlo. Sir Mike, pakibaba ang face mask mo para makita ang iyong kagwapuhan. Pakibaba ang face mask mo, Sir Mike, para picture. Sa
picture taking.
Picture taking muna. Tanggalin mo ang face mask. Ay, hindi man. Sige, okay na yan. Picture taking tayo. Ako na ko. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Ayan, okay.
Heart, ma'am. Heart.
Heart naman. Okay. Heart. Ayan. Okay, thank you, Sir Mike.
Thank you, sir. Congratulations.
Congratulations. Virtual clap, confetti, love, and thumbs up. Yan. Teacher Julien, ano na ang ating kasunod. Ang tumataas ba ang ating YouTube live viewers? Ma'am Joy at the backstage kanina ay na-announce ko, shout out sa 775 YouTube live viewers. Ngayon kaya Teacher Yen, baka
725 na daw po as of the moment.
Shout out sa lahat ng mga nanonood via YouTube live. Positive vibes po tayo, good vibes lang. Happy Friday po, stay healthy. Ayan, Teacher Julien?
Ayan, thank you so much po. And now, I'm giving this virtual floor to Sir Mark Anthony R. Malonzo for the Job Embedded Learning or GEL. Sir Anthony.
Dong, alis nga muna dyan.
Ayan, habang nag-antay tayo, Teacher Julien, si Sir Mark Anthony R. Malonzo ay Senior Education Program Specialist ng NAYAP in the region. Pero siya ay nasa Human Resource Development Division pa rin ng Region 4A Calabarzon. Ayan. Pinapakilala ko siya sa iyo, Teacher Julien, kasi ninang kami ng kanyang panganay. Yan. Shout out sa kanyang panganay at sa kanyang bunso. Yan.
Ayan lang, habang nag-aantay po tayo kay Sir Mark. Meron pong message, meron po tayong message from Sir Mark Anthony Salmazan. Given with the all consideration included to the topic of Sir Mike, let us all be teachers with a heart. Thank you, Sir Mike, and God bless us all. Thank you po, Sir Mark Anthony.
Yan, from Mr. Romar Laguna naman. Thank you, Sir Mike, for very meaningful talk. It is very informative session. Hashtag no more sana all. Ayan, may hashtag si Sir Romar Laguna. Ayan.
From Ma'am Monette Gamaro po. From Santa Filomena IS, congratulations, you deserve the awards. God bless.
Yan.
Thank you, Ma'am Monette.
From Ma'am Jocelyn Buena Obra. Congrats po, Sir Mike. Wow. Sir, thank you po. God bless po. Tunay nga po ang pagmamalasakit sa bawat isa ang dapat panatilihin sa puso ng bawat isa. Love, care, and passion. Ayan. Thank you, Ma'am Jocelyn Buena Obra, for that comment. Ayan. Teacher Julian, baka marami pang comment na ang dami nila.
Ayan. Sa kanya po ulit kay Ma'am Jocelyn Buena Obra. Congrats po, Sir Mike. Wow, sir. Thank you. God bless po. Tunay nga pong pagmamalasakit sa bawat isa ang dapat panatilihin sa puso ng bawat isa. Love, care, and passion. Habang nag-aantay po tayo, ma'am, gusto ko lang pong i-congratulate ang aming school, Mamatid Elementary School, dahil nakapasa po sila sa SBM Level 3 Region Evaluation. Congratulations, Mamatid ES at sa SBM family.
Teacher Julia, congratulations. So, parang kasama ako doon nag-evaluate kagabi.
Yes po.
Congratulations to the principal, kay Mama. Anong pangalan na ni Madam?
Ma'am Maria Teresa S. Ramos po.
Ramos, oo. Si Ma'am Maria Teresa Ramos. Ma'am, shout out po sa inyo. Congratulations po again. Teacher nyo pala, si Teacher Julian, ang co-host at host namin ngayon dito. From Ma'am Vilma Reyes, Sir Mike is one of the best. Yan, and energetic Fasi. Congrats po, sir. Dapat mabasa lahat ito ni Sir Mike, Teacher Julien? Siguro
Yes,
i-screenshot mo lahat ito mamaya at ipa-print para ipadala sa kanya. Tama ba? Para masaya, di ba? Ayan. Meron pa kaya tayong mga nakaka-good vibes na Happy Friday comments dyan? Pero kung wala na, ang inaantay natin si Sir Mark. Kanina si Sir Mike, ngayon naman Sir Mark. Yan, oo.
Ma'am, paalalahanan din po natin ang ating mga participants na po. After po dito, meron po tayong closing program mamayang 1 p.m.
Yes.
Sana po, asahan po namin kayo doon sa ating closing program.
At wag silang mawawala, di ba, Teacher Julien? Wag na silang aalis doon sa YouTube live nila na pinapanood. Pwede namang mag-lunch muna after this. pero babalik sila for the closing program and ceremony. Kasi importante yon na mapanood din nila. Ayan.
Yes po.
Mm. Ano nga pala ulit yung hashtag natin, Teacher Julien? Kasi,
Hashtag amazed with erase up.
yan, oo.
Hashtag amazed with erase
Oo.
up.
Mga dear teacher participants, pakilagay po sa ating chat box, hashtag amazed erase up. Ayan. Si Sir Mark kaya na dyan na. O, Ma'am Teacher Julien, ikaw naman.
Okay, from Sir Ma'am Ediberta Arsenal, hashtag sana all, lahat katulad ni Sir Mike, may puso sa kanyang mga ginagawa at malasakit. God bless po.
Oo, may malasakit. Yes, ayan, from Sir Roy Kapul, hashtag amaze erase up. Thank you, Sir Roy. Shout out sa iyong school na, kung anong school ka at anong SDO dyan. Ayan, nag-hashtag siya. So, ang saya, pag Friday talaga, Teacher Julian, di ba naramdaman mong lagi yung may TGIF, thanks God, it's Friday, di ba?
Friday.
Oo.
Yes po,
Kasi
ma'am.
after ng Friday, Teacher Julian, Sabado. Di ba, weekend. After ng Sabado, Linggo, family day naman. Ayan, oo. So ano kaya mga ginagawa ng ating mga teacher participants from SDO San Pablo, SDO Biñan, and SDO Cabuyao City kapag Sabado, di ba?
Yes po.
Ikaw, Teacher
Ano
Julian,
ba, ma'am? Nauna po ako sa inyo.
ikaw ginagawa pag Sabado?
Pag Saturday po, nagbabasa lang po, nanonood ng movie, chillax lang po pag Saturday and Sunday. Kayo po ba, ma'am?
Ganun din. Kasi yung buong linggo natin, medyo kahit na sabi mo maraming gawain at medyo hectic ang schedule, time to relax naman pag Sabado. Medyo paminsan-minsan nagvi-video, kaya paminsan-minsan pang paganda ng pakiramdam. Alam mo yon. Andiyan, ang dami Teacher Julian ang nag-hashtag sa atin. Thank you, Sir Romar, Sir Paul, attend po ng PISA. Anong PISA kaya yon? Sir Paul Michael Boncayo. Ang daming mga nag-hashtag. Ang bilis kanina kasi ng daan ng... Yan, Ma'am, Teacher Julian.
Yes, from Ma'am Julian Umaklap. Hashtag amazed erase up. Okay, thank you, Ma'am Julie.
Hashtag amazed with erase up again from Ma'am Sheila Aguila. Shout out kay Ma'am Sheila.
Yan lang from Ma'am Mean Perez. Hashtag amazed erase up from SDO Cabuyao. Hi, Ma'am Ana.
Ayan, from Ma'am Ivy Maghari. Okay, ang kanyang nilagay ay emoticons ng virtual clap at heart. Ayan, puso talaga. Good vibes yan. Ma'am Ivy, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. From Sir Randy Reyes. Pabanggit naman po sa lahat ng teachers ng Ambay ES San Pablo City, lahat hashtag amazed erase up. Good morning po sa lahat ng teachers ng Ambay ES San Pablo City. Thank you so much, Sir Randy.
And shout out kay Sir Randy Reyes for that hashtag. Ang galing Kumbaga, inumpisahan niya, lahat sila sunod-sunod. So thank you po, Sir Randy. From Ma'am Armida Salcedo. Salamat po, sir. Medyo natanggal stress. Thanks, Doc. Yan. Ma'am Armida, thank you.
Okay, batiin ko rin ba mga teachers ng Mamatid at lahat po ng teachers sa SDO Cabuyao City. Ngayon po ginaganap mamang aming Gawad Galing Kabuhenyo.
Ay, very good. Thank you and congratulations, Teacher Julian, lahat ng mga awardee. Pa-announce lang po natin, to all dear teacher participants of this Erase Up, all outputs deadline po ay November 12. Ayan. Ibig sabihin, hindi masyadong stress at hindi masyadong mangangarag ang ating mga kaguruan sa pagsasubmit ng outputs. Because, ulitin ko po mga dear teacher participants, ang deadline ay November 12. Okay? November 12, so, ibig sabihin, kanina, ulitin natin yung kay Sir Mike, hindi na sila gagawa ng bago. Kung ano yung nandyan sa kanila na lesson plan, exam plan, everything Teacher Julian, diba? Kasi ako nag-iisip ako, maggagawa pa ba akong bago dun sa output ni Sir Mike? Yung pala ay hindi na. Yun. Thank you for that, November 12.
Yes, at may 2 weeks pa po sila para i-complete yung mga task na pinapagawa sa kanila. Lalo po kasi November 12 pa ang submission po ng outputs nila. Kasama po ako doon. Natuwa po ako sa sinabi ni Sir Mike, hindi nagagawa ng bagong lesson exemplar, yung existing lang ang i-evaluate. So, hindi na po tayo mahihirapan, dear teachers. Isa po ako sa inyo.
Basahin natin, Teacher Julian, from Ma'am Joanne Dorumpili. Pa-shout out po ma'am muli sa aming kaguruan. Okay, shout out sa lahat ng mga taga Biñan Integrated National High School, SDO Biñan. Ma'am Joanne, thank you for that. Hi, hello po.
Kay Ma'am Marlene Coronel, nakakatawa po si Ma'am no po, napaka-active niya mula po ng first day. Okay po. Congrats also Ma'am Donna and Ma'am Julian, you are with us. Di nyo kami iniwan. Kayo din Ma'am, di nyo kami iniwan.
Thank you Ma'am Marlene for that appreciation and affirmation for us. Parang kayo lang po yata ang nagsabi na ganyan. Anyway, thank you very much. Di ba Teacher Julian, nakakataba ng puso yung may nag-appreciate sa iyo at sa akin. Thank you po. From Mame Anmutok, salamat po sa dalawang magaganda at magagaling na host. Wow. Teacher Julian, pareho na tayo maganda. Akala ko nung
Nagpapalahan na lang po yata tayo dito. Okay, thank you so much, Ma'am Mean.
Thank you, Ma'am
Mean. Okay po. From Ma'am Berlin Duha, hashtag amazed e-raise up. More power sa inyong lahat.
Yes, more power po. More power po sa ating lahat. Ay, Teacher Julian, i-take ko na dito opportunity na to, no? Hi and hello to all DepEd Region 4A Calabarzon employees. Mula sa guard na hindi ko kabisadong pangalan, sa lahat ng aming offices. Siyempre, especially to Human Resource Development Division headed by our Chief, Dr. Luz E. Osmeña at ang HRDDD team, family, and NAYOP R. Okay? Kasi ang dami baka humaba. Ang dami pangalan. So, inisa ko na lang. Ayan. And also to our RD. Isa naman ating RD sa DepEd Calabarzon, RD Francis Cesar Panchet Bringas, and our ARD Teacher Cherry Lurepia. Good morning, hi, and hello mga ma'am and sir, RD and ARD. Kumusta po kayo diyan? Ayan. Teacher Julian?
Yan po, ma'am, from Ma'am Girly Bondad, hashtag amazed e-raise up, watching from Colonel po ba yun? Laura D. Dizon, Memorial Integrated High School, SDO San Pablo City. Thank you, ma'am.
From Sir Raul Guerrero, thanks you din sa ating napaka-energetic na MCOO. Teacher Julian, energetic tayo pareho kasi kumain tayo almusal. Ayan. Thank you, Sir Raul. Shout out po sa inyo. Thank you.
From Ma'am Ediberta Arsenal, siya po ulit. Thank you po, ma'am. Shout out po sa aming SDO Biñan City, Platero Elementary School, hashtag amaze e-raise up. Good morning, Ma'am Ediberta, at sa lahat po ng teachers sa Platero.
Yan. Ma'am Zenaida Diong Lai, hashtag amazed e-raise up from San Lucas 2 Elementary School, SDO, San Pablo City. Thank you to all excellent facilitators for the 4-day webinar. Bouquet for you all. Shout out to all teacher participants. Shout out po from Ma'am Zenaida. Thank you, Ma'am Zenaida.
Thank you po. From Sarongar, Laguna, pa-shoutout po sa lahat ng teachers ng Felix Amante Senior High School, SDO San Pablo City, hashtag amazed with e-raise up. Thank you, Sir Romar.
Teacher Julian, total naman ay pwede pa tayo magpa-shoutout. Shoutout sa ating backstage ICT, TWG, Sir Lester, hi! Sir Mark, hi. And syempre, special sa ating puso, Teacher Julian, si Ma'am Joy na walang pagod, walang sawa, na nandyan palagi. Kahit anong oras mo i-PM, sumasagot. Ayan. Ma'am Joy, kumusta? Sa lahat ng PMT class manager at the back of the stage, at the back of this e-raise up, maraming salamat po. Baka mamaya hindi na tayo magkaroon ng pagkakataon. Still, it's a blessing to be with you. It's a blessing to be with us. So, hashtag e-raise up talaga. Ayan. Last na to, Teacher Julian. Last na. From Teacher Cheryl Gulay. Ikaw na magbasa, Teacher Yen.
Okay po, from Teacher Cheryl Gulay, pa-shoutout din po sa lahat ng teachers ng Del Remedyo Elementary School. Good morning po sa lahat ng teachers ng Del Remedyo.
Ayan. Thank you, Teacher Julian. So, ayan, let us welcome again Mr. Mark Anthony R. Malonzo, Senior Education Program Specialist, NAYAP from the region. Ayan, Sir Mark, andyan ka na. Good morning. Naku, mukha yata ni Sir Mark ay...
Nagkaka-problem siguro po sa
connection. Andyan na, Sir. Sir Mark, let's go.
Yes, medyo mahina yung internet natin dito sa area. Ano. Sige. But we'll try our best to maitawid natin ito ngayon. So, magandang umaga sa subcluster ng Laguna, SDO Biñan, Cabuyao, and San Pablo City. Di na tayo magpapatumpik-tumpik dahil sa limitadong internet connection natin. I suppose you have already seen the template on job embedded learning. So you have there in your Google Classrooms the template that we have set for you to get familiar with, and this will be our ultimate output. So what's next after completing the 4 days of this course? So you were informed about how the program was developed and how it was designed. So this time we'll come into the realization of the learning that we got from this formal learning. So basically, this session will help us to apply our competencies or the knowledge, skills, and values we've learned from this course. And for us to do it, we have to discuss essential concepts learned from the previous sessions, integrate these essential concepts in the work-related performance of your KRAs, and write a job-embedded learning plan. So, how to do it, the job-embedded learning plan, this is the purpose of this presentation. And you are also told to accomplish all the requirements in all the sessions that you have completed. So this time, this will be the program output. So at the end of this program, you are expected to implement a job embedded learning plan. So you have this plan that you will implement for 6 to 9 months. In the next coming months, you have to complete this job embedded learning plan. The implementation of this job embedded learning plan. So by next year, 2022, you will have your evaluation of the GEL. Of course, this will coincide with our second batch in 2022, who will also undergo the same course that you have undertaken already. So, doon sa mga nagtatanong kung kailangan na yung mga materials, hindi pa siya for distribution kasi we still have the second batch to undergo this course. So, muna tayo, restricted muna tayo doon. So, to complete your job embedded learning plan, you have to, of course, fill out the name of learner. The name of learner is you. You are the learner in this context. As attendee or participant to this program, to this course, you are being referred to as the name of learner. Kayo yung learner, ha? Ulitin ko po. Your office and position on this part, the title or training program you have attended, you have completed, and the dates implemented, and the implementing offices, name of supervisor, the one who signs your IPCRF, will be your supervisor. So it may be your master teacher or your head teacher or your principal, whatever case it may be. Your office or the office and position of the rater. Then on the lower part of this, you have to write the background or the rationale of your planned job embedded learning. Of course, you have the reasons why you have to prioritize certain competencies that are reflected um, on the training program. So makikita nyo naman later on. You have to explain on this part why such domain or strand or indicator in the professional standards is your focus. Or are your focuses. Expected performance improvement. Of course, on this part, you'll have to indicate the competencies for development. Which of these competencies for development would you prioritize, and you have to include or indicate them in this portion. No? So you need to discuss this with your colleague or your rater to validate if the competencies you identified are the ones needing development. So, saan siya kukunin? Balikan natin yung IPCRF natin nung nakaraang taon. Balikan natin kung ano yung mga development, competencies for development natin that we have to prioritize for this job embedded learning. Then, you have the KRAs. KRAs are also found in your IPCRF. So you have to look at which of these competencies that you will be addressing will benefit ano uh, for the KRAs. Pag napa-improve mo ba tong competencies mo na to, alin doon sa mga KRAs mo bilang proficient teachers yung maa-address. So you have to indicate also the KRAs, also aligned to your IPCRF. Then on this part, expected improvement or performance and indicator, you have to go back again to your previous performance, noting that you have already set your target for this school year, that you'll have to improve your performance on this indicator by at least 5%, for example. You have to indicate on this part whether it's percentage or increase in number. This will be on this part, expected improvement. This must be according to a baseline data of your performance and a forecast improvement of your specific indicators in the professional standards. And of course, to support your performance, you have to produce MOVs of the implementation of this program, of this plan. So you can include pictures if you have uh, accomplished a meeting, for example, or you have accomplished a certain task in an assigned program or projects to you. So you have to document also. That will serve as your means of verification. Then, on this part, you have to uh, select from this menu of gel intervention the one that is appropriate to your case. It's a case-to-case basis. You'll have to think of the appropriate job embedded learning intervention from among these options. So you have job expansion, job shadowing, job rotation, special projects, stretch assignments, committee work, informal gel activities, workplace application plan. No. So I will explain later on these gel options. You have the options here. Then, dito sa part na to, GEL Activity Implementation Plan, you have to indicate which particular GEL intervention did you or would you choose. Or will you have to choose? GEL Activity, kunyari ito magigitong Job Expansion Implementation Plan, Job Shadowing Implementation Plan, Job Rotation Implementation Plan. So, ganun siya magiging title nito. Depending on your choice. Depending on your choice. Then, after choosing from among the gel interventions, kung ano yung gagamitin ninyo, you have to explain, on the lower part, why such job embedded learning intervention is chosen. So you have to explain how will this chosen gel be implemented. In not less than one paragraph, describe how learning will take place with the chosen gel intervention, the length of time, the people you will work together with, the teams you need to mobilize, and the resources you will need to implement this gel intervention. So you have to indicate on this part. Then, the terminal objective, of course, is the overall goal of your implementation. So, you have to write in behavioral terms. You have there the verbs written in the professional standards. You can make use of those verbs for as long as it is your priority development needs. So, iyon yung pagkukunan natin dito ng ilalagay dito sa part ng terminal objective. So wag na tayo mag-create ng kung ano-ano pa mga verbs na hindi na malalayo pa doon sa professional standards. Perhaps meron sa inyo magtatanong na parang another na naman ito na trabaho, parang additional burden. Let me just clarify on the context of the professional development. Tapos na tayo doon sa training na walang resulta. What we are after in this kind of intervention is the outputs or the outcomes of the training. There must be change in behavior among the participants, and that can be only ensured that there really is a change if you will undergo an implementation of your application project. So this is one way of ensuring that you have understood, you have learned from this training. So again, sinabi ko nga sa inyo that only 10% of the learning, of the formal learning, is expected of the participant to get from this kind of intervention. Whereas in job embedded learning, bakit job embedded? Hindi dapat tayo magbigay ng mga additional na trabaho sa mga participants natin. Dapat ang gawin nating project kung ano na talaga yung ginagawa ng teachers. So basically, lahat ng ito ay ginagawa na natin. At sinusuri natin kung paano pa natin mapaghuhusay yung mga bagay na talagang ginagawa na natin. So hindi to additional. This is not another thing. Ito ay ginagawa na rin natin. So it's normal to say that yung LDM ay ginagawa nyo naman, pero content pa rin ng LDM courses. Of course, kasi talagang dapat ang content ng ating mga kursong kinukuha ay yung talagang expertise at yung linya talaga natin. Magtaka kayo kung ang pinapatraining sa atin, halimbawa dito ay electrical or plumbing o carpentry, or hindi naman talaga natin yung ginagawa. So, remember that job embedded learning will help us improve the way we are doing things before. So it's a passport for us to improve our performance. And mind you, our competency based hiring and promotion is based on the performance of the employees. So ito can support our claims that we really perform in our sworn duties and responsibilities as teachers. So, this part will vary. Itong part na to ay magkakaiba-iba. Depende dun sa napili nating gel intervention. So, this can be entitled Job Rotation Implementation Plan, Special Project Implementation Plan, based on your choice. So, you're given 6 to 9 months to implement your job embedded learning plan. Then you have to authenticate this plan with your rater. Prepared by your name and reviewed by the name of your rater, the name and position of your rater. Then concurrence, you have to sign both, that you are concurrently agreeing on your plan. So on this part, you have to authenticate. Then, proficient teachers focus. Ano ba yung focus natin dapat dito? Again, based on the survey, you have provided us the responses, and from there we analyze the responses, and we come up to identify these 5 indicators, priority indicators from the 2 domains of professional standards, the diversity of learners in curriculum and planning. No? So lumalabas dito sa survey na ito yung needs natin based on the average ratings. For some of you, this may not be applicable because we have this so-called margin of error, para doon sa ilan na hindi pumasok doon sa parameters nitong indicators na ito. So, you may consider other indicators in the professional standards which are somehow related to these identified indicators. In one way or another, pwede nating sabihin that indicator 4.5.3 is much concerned indicator, or it may be the priority rather than indicator 4.5.2. So pwedeng ganon, yung maging focus ng ating job embedded learning. So you may recall from among the sessions you have completed, these indicators, planning and delivering teaching strategies that are responsive to special educational needs. Natakil ba natin yan? Evaluating with colleagues teaching strategies that are responsive to the special educational needs of learners. Natakil ba natin yan? Yung strand 3.3 ba, learners with disabilities, giftedness, and talents. Indicators 3.3.1 and 3.3.2. Natakil ba natin siya dito? From this point, at this point in time, you need to reflect. You need to reflect. How am I doing in these indicators? So, kumustahin natin sarili natin if we are really meeting these standards. So, ganun lang din. Then we have to consider them in our job embedded learning. So, konting input lang ito para dun sa mga kasamahan natin na ang ating focus dito ay job embedded learning. What we have just completed is the formal learning, the trainings that we are provided with in 4 days ay formal learning na matatawag. And the one that we are going to do with our superior is discussion-based learning. You can learn from your rater, actually. Your master teacher can provide inputs about the curriculum as well as your head teachers or your principals. So, the second part of learning is for adult learners is relationship discussion-based learning. And that will happen when you talk with your superior, with the one who rates you. You talk to your rater, and that is RDL, and that is 20% of learning. 20% of learning. Then, yung 70% of learning, according to McCall, sinasabi natin si Lombardo at si Asinger, ay job-embedded learning. At ito'y 70%. Mas marami tayong natututunan, sa totoo lang, sa ating trabaho, kesa doon sa nag-aral tayo, nag-attend tayo ng training, o nag-undergo tayo ng study sa university. Mas 10% lang yan, pero ang mahal-mahal ng pag-aaral. Samantalang sa job embedded learning, libre lang yan. Libre lang. At binabayaran pa tayo. So, ang focus natin here is job embedded learning. So, we have to take note of the choices. Pwede kayong mamili. For example, ng job embedded learning ay committee work. Sa dami-dami na ng committee hinawakan mo, ngayon mo lang malalaman na dapat pala dinocument ko yung committee na hinawakan ko. Kasi doon ako natutong mag-MC, doon ako natutong magsulat, doon ako natutong makipag-coordinate sa committee works. Kunyari, ikaw yung na-assign sa enrollment committee. Ikaw yung in charge doon sa sports committee, kunyari, ng school ninyo. So, yung mga ganyang bagay, kunyari, meron kayong school development committee, o meron kayong ano pa yung mga committee dyan sa SPC. May mga ganyang committee. So, dapat dito document natin yung learning natin. At ito yung paraan paano natin bibigyan ng ebidensya yung ginawa nating performance. So, this is not additional burden actually, but we are helping you to document yung mga pinapagawa sa atin ng ating mga superiors. And this can support our performance when performance evaluation comes. So, committee work, meron kang committee, the name of committee, the purpose of committee, your role in the committee, the learning objectives you set with your superior, and the task that is given to you, or the tasks that are given to you. It may be many tasks, inclusive dates, outputs, and support resources. So, job expansion template naman ito. Additional duties and responsibilities. Aside from being the key teacher in your grade level, you are also in charge of ancillary, kunyari ancillary. And that entails also much of your time. For example, you will be the canteen manager and you have to be there during recess time. Kunyari lang ito sa face-to-face setup, o ikaw yung coordinator kunyari ng grade level, ikaw pa rin yung advisor, ikaw pa rin yung in-charge ni ma'am na maging ICT coordinator. O yan, pwedeng additional responsibilities yan. Hanggang kailan po ba ako magiging ICT coordinator? Kasi po hirap na po ako, wala na po akong love life. No? So itong job expansion template will help you document with your superior that you are really doing good about learning. So yan, pwede yan. Job expansion ang tawag dyan. Job shadowing, ay ma'am, bago lang po ako dito sa school na ito, bago lang po ako sa DepEd. I think I need to be shadowed. I need a coach or a mentor. Your principal or your head teacher or your master teacher will help you be guided by someone who is older or senior than you are. So pwedeng samahan ka nito, i-coach ka niya, i-mentor ka niya, you talk with her or with him. You call this job shadowing. Job rotation naman, okay. Matagal nang ikaw ang president halimbawa ng math department. Ikaw iba naman ang maging president ngayon, so job rotation 'yon. O kaya naman iparanas sa inyo ni master teacher o gusto niyo maranasan ang pagiging master teacher o internal arrangement, job rotation tayo. Kayo naman ngayon ang mag-o-observe. O ipaparanas ko sa iyo mag-observe ng klase dahil nakikita ko sa iyo na you will become a master teacher also, you will become a principal. Magiging ka na ring head teacher na kagaya ko. So I need to job shadow o you need to undergo job rotation o palit muna tayo for 3 months. Ikaw muna ang head teacher. Lalagyan kita ng designation order na memo, pirmado ko at ito ay may visa. Ikaw ngayon ang principal o IC ka ngayon ng 3 buwan, kunyari. Sa maliit na eskwelahan pwede niyong gawin niya mga ganyan, job rotation. So, meron akong kilalang isang division na yung mga specialist ay pinapaikot-ikot niya. Pwede kang maging HRD specialist, pwede kang maging MNE specialist, pwede kang maging SOCMOB specialist. So, pwede kang maging specialist ng research. Pwede yan, nagagawa yan, job rotation. So, another job embedded learning is a special project. So, may special project, kunyari, merong CI project si principal at binigyan ka ng assignment doon, may role ka doon. So, that can also be considered as job embedded learning. So, ma'am, kailangan po nating i-document. Sabi po kasi sa region, dapat daw po, meron daw po akong matutunan dito sa special project na binigay niyo sa akin. Sige. Gawa ka ng template. Ito yung template. Ito, mag-agree kayo. Then, yun na, support niyo sa inyong IPCRF at support niyo na rin sa inyong dito sa course na ito. Ewan lang natin pag hindi pa maging outstanding lahat ng teacher. Ang gusto naman talaga natin maging outstanding ang mga teacher. Ayaw natin ng mga teacher na satisfactory lang or BS lang. Gusto natin lahat outstanding. So ito yung way natin para maging outstanding tayo. Stretch assignments. Aside from the other assignments to you, binigyan ka para mag-lead ng isang programa, maging lead ng isang proyekto. Mag-spearhead ka ng project para sa dropout. So meron tayong kinreate na project, kunyari, ikaw yung lead. Stretch assignments ang tawag dyan. Stretch assignments. So, magkaiba rin siya dun sa job rotation and job shadowing. Meron din tayong informal gel activity, kunyari, virtual graduation, yung magaling dyan sa video editing, bibigyan ko ng trabaho. We call it informal gel activity. So, anong matututunan ko? Ikaw mag-MC, ikaw ang magre-receive ng ating mga clients. That is informal gel activity. No? So, dapat malinaw sa atin yung mga differences na yan. Which may be applicable to you, it's up to you and your rater to choose. Sa RDL naman, ayan binanggit ko na kanina sa inyo, familiar tayo dito sa coaching and mentoring, meron tayong PMCF, Performance Monitoring and Coaching Form. Pinag-aralan nyo yan sa sessions ninyo. Coaching activity, ito naman yung template niya, mentoring template, ito naman. Pwede nyo rin i-document yung mentoring ninyo. Na-mentor po ako ni Master Teacher, kaya po ako naging mahusay sa pagtuturo nitong subject na to. So, pwede yan. Peer-assisted, it doesn't mean na yung superior mo lang yung pwedeng mag-mentor at mag-coach sa'yo. Meron din pag minsan nakapwa mong teacher 3, teacher 1, or teacher 2, kahit ikaw ay teacher 3 pa, pero peer kayo, peer. No? So, pwedeng turuan ka rin niya. No? So, we call it peer-assisted learning. No? It's a peer-to-peer, teacher-to-teacher approach. Meron din tayong communities of practice. For example, yung kapwa mo math teacher sa department, yung kapwa mo grade 3 teacher, nagtuturo ng reading, nagtuturuan kayo. We call it communities of practice. So you have to identify the composition of that group, the common practice or interest that you are sharing together with. Class observation, of course, this is very typical to you. You have already attached several COTs sa inyong mga PCRF. So, pwede rin yan. It's actually a source of 20% of learning from our master teachers or from our superiors. Then, formal learning, ito yung patok na patok kasi ito may budget. It entails a lot of time, so much resources to make use of. Ito, familiar tayo dito. Ganito yung training design, paggawa ng mga training. Yung LAC planning template, ito provide din tayo, pwede rin yan, formal learning din yan. At yung ito LAC planning template, yung specific sa LAC plans. If you have questions, I think I will entertain a few, siguro mga hanggang 3 lang para makalipat ako dun sa highly proficient teachers. But let me finish my presentation ito lang with Alexander Graham Bell. We must be all thankful to Alexander Graham Bell because we enjoy the convenience of telephone, of providing distance learning to our learners and providing technical assistance virtually through telephones. Imagine life without telephones these days. Siguro ay miserable tayo, miserable. And sabi ni Alexander Graham Bell, concentrate all your thoughts upon the work in hand. The sun's rays do not burn until brought to a focus. So, ang ibig sabihin lang nito, hindi ka makakapagsimula ng apoy, kung yung liwanag ng araw ay sabog. So, dapat ay nakafocus daw tayo. Applying this context, in the context of teaching. If you want to make a fire, you want to start a fire and make a huge fire, a conflagration in the forest of DepEd, you have to focus, you have to focus your attention, your strength, your energy to your work, So if you're given a work to be like a classroom teacher and to be assigned to ancillary works, then you have to focus, to concentrate on this. Kung gusto mo magsimula ng malaking apoy dito sa DepEd, dun mo simulan sa sphere of influence mo. Dun ka magsimula and you can create a fire. You can create a fire. Sana mayroon kayong natutunan sa akin. So focus on our professional standards at pagyamanin natin yung ginagawa natin gamit yung professional standards. With that, thank you so much and mabuhay tayong mga gurong Pilipino. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you very much, Sir Mark Anthony R. Malonzo. Napakahusay, napakagaling talaga ni Sir Mark. Ang kanyang hashtag kaninang word, focus and hashtag pagyamanin. Ayan, thank you, Sir Mark. Teacher Juliet, anong masasabi mo? Naka-off ang mic mo, Teacher Julien. Naka-off.
Thank you so much. Okay, nakakatuwa po ma'am kasi yung mga ipapagawa po sa atin, ginagawa na po pala talaga natin na po hindi na po tayo mahihirapan.
Yes.
Napapractice na po
Oo.
ng mga teachers.
Oo. JEL means Job Embedded Learning. Ayan. Oh, yan yung nileson ni Sir Mark. Sa lahat po ng ating YouTube live, teacher participants, viewers, please write on the chat box your questions either in Tagalog or in English kung saan kayo mas komportable. So, mayroon ba tayong tanong, Mama Joy, Sir Lester? Ayan. Teacher Yen.
From Ma'am Jenaline Tolentino. Good morning po. Thank you, Sir Mark. Well explained po lahat what job embedded learning is all about. Thank you so much po. Nawala po si Sir.
Babalik yan.
Yes.
From Ma'am Chiristina Zikenya. Yan. Thank you po, Sir Malonzo. Every detail of your discussion is on point. Focus on our professional standards. Agree po, sir, with exclamation point. Galing nyo po. Virtual clap. Watching from SBIHS San Pablo. Hashtag po, ayan, shout out po sa ating San Pablo City. Ayan.
From Ma'am Russell Elomina, good morning po, Butong ES SDO Cabuyao. Ang bawat gurong kabuhenyo tutugon sa hamon ng panahon. Padayon, i-raise up last day.
Oo, thank you, Ma'am Rachel. Padayon, i-raise up last day.
Ano
Yan.
ba yung padayon, ma'am?
Padayon means parang congrats ba or kudos? Parang gano'n ang ano niya. Ayan, from Ma'am Marlene Coronel. Amazing! There are things like this pala po that we do not know and was not really introduced to us, Sir Mark. Thank you, Ma'am Marlene.
From Sir Dante Araneta, napakahuhusay ng mga speakers. Salamat po. God bless. Thank you, Sir Dante.
Yan. Ayan, from Sir Mark Anthony Zalmazan. Hashtag amazed erase up. Kudos to all the speakers from day 1 to 4 to our amazing MCs. Thank you. And technical working group, congratulations po. Shout out po sa lahat na kaguruan sa Bigaa. Integrated National High School SDO Cabuyao City. Thank you, Sir Mark Anthony.
Thank you, sir. From Ma'am Maria Madonna Ramos, thank you, Sir Mike. Hashtag JEL. Concentrate, focus, and keep the fire burning.
Teacher
Thank you,
yan,
Ma'am
magpapalit
Maria.
yata yung Sir Mark and Sir Mike. Sir Mark siguro kasi JEL.
Ay,
no?
opo. Mark.
Yun talaga yung nakasulat, Sir Mike, pero Sir Mark yun. Ayan. Ayan, from Ma'am Ninita. Thank you, Ma'am Ninita. Preto, paday means continue po. Yan. Oh, kasi hindi natin alam. Buti na lang, Ma'am Ninita. Thank you very much for that. Ayun, magpatuloy in Tagalog. Hashtag magpatuloy ang padayon. Yan, keep going. Thanks so much for the knowledge. Congrats, padayon. Magpatuloy
Okay.
ka, Ma'am
Keep
Jazzy.
moving forward. Opo. Thank you
Keep
so much,
moving
ma'am.
forward in Tagalog. Magpatuloy. Thank you, Ma'am Jaisel. Thank you. My question,
From Maria Madonna Ramos po ulit. Thank you, Sir Mark. Ayan na po, kinorek po ni ma'am. Hashtag JEL, concentrate, focus, and keep the fire burning from Santiago 1 ES, San Pablo City. STO San Pablo City. Thank you,
Thank you,
ma'am.
Ma'am. From Ma'am Evelyn Galcon. Thank you so much po for a well-explained session from SDO Biñan City, and congratulations po sa lahat ng mga speakers po. Thank you, Ma'am Evelyn.
From Sir Albert Labian, padayon, a waray-waray word means to continue. Proud waray non po. Watching from Santo Tomas ES SDO Biñan City.
Thank you, Sir Albert, kasi Ilocana po ako. Ayan no?
Tagalog
Hindi
naman
kasi ako
po.
waray. Oh, ikaw, Teacher Julian, saan ang province mo?
Dito po talaga ako sa Laguna.
Laguna.
Kalamba po
Oo,
dati.
certified Laguna, taga Laguna si Teacher Julian. Okay, from Ma'am Nesitas Bagsik. Yan. Thanks po to the organizer of this webinar. Thanks po to all the speakers, facilitator, and MCs. God bless you po. Thank you po sa pag-appreciate, Ma'am Nesitas. Thank you. Ayan. Sige, Teacher Yan, read.
Okay. From Ma'am Marjorie Almazan or Almaza. Thank you for the knowledge, infos, and insights. God bless you from SDO San Pablo City. Thank you so much, Ma'am Marjorie.
Teacher Yan, lahat ng mga comments ng good vibes, positive vibes ay thank you very much po sa kanilang lahat. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much.
Nakakahawa kasi ang positive vibes na ba, ma'am? Ayan,
Oo.
from Ma'am Deborah Montemayor. Thank you, Sir Mark. Thank you, Ma'am Deborah.
From Ma'am Marlene Coronel, it is really so amazing that we really have to document everything now that we have to do in our school. Hashtag amazed erase up. So much appreciated. Ayan.
Thank you,
Okay.
Ma'am Marian. From Ma'am Mean Mutuk, thank you, Sir Malonzo. Shout out po sa mga mapagmahal na mga guro ng Mamplasan National High School, SDO Biñan City. Good morning po sa mga taga Biñan.
Yes. Okay. Thank you, Ma'am Mean Mutok. Okay. From Teacher Yen, from Ma'am Mary Lee Leonard. Encourage smart students to share some of their time to tutoring slow learners. Saturday can be spent with study with a body time, either in library or somewhere quiet to facilitate studying. Thank you for Marily for that comment. Good vibes po para sa ating lahat, kaguruan at sa mga mag-aaral. Di ba, Teacher Yen?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much po. Ayan, ma'am. Siguro ready na po tayo para sa ating lunch break na ba? Thank you so much po sa lahat, teachers. Let us have now our lunch break. Please be back at 1 p.m. para po sa ating closing program. Happy lunch po and see you later. Bye!